Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, Resurrection of Reiki. I awakened a God-level martial soul. Chapter 61. Dean, if we don't go for a while, it will be gone. Seeing this, Li Yancheng said anxiously. What's the hurry, don't you still have 3 legs? Even though he said so, Long Feng's eyes were also bright, watching their every move. Xiaoxi, go and process the remaining spirit beast meat, and cook some soup later. Lu Qingshe shouted to Long Shi who was feasting. Long Shi threw the dark red long knife at Lu Qingchen. Xiaochenzi, you go and deal with it, and have some soup later. Quote. I haven't eaten a bite of meat yet, I have to work again. Lu Qingchen reluctantly took the long knife from Long Shi, and couldn't help muttering in his heart. At the moment, I can only use this sharp magic weapon to deal with the remaining ingredients. Seeing Lu Qingchen's unwillingness to handle the ingredients, Yushan gloated at his misfortune. Brother Chen, you also have today, ha 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 ha. That kid, why are you smirking? Go fill the pot with water, and then boil the water. Before he could be proud for 2 seconds, Long Zai's voice came over. With his head drooping, Yushan set up the big black pot and was ready to fetch water. The space flickered, and a beautiful figure came out. I happened to collect some water from the Hanshan pond a while ago, let's use it to cook spirit beast meat. It was Han Meng who came, she was like a beauty walking out of a picture scroll, carefully carved like beautiful jade. She has a glamorous temperament, born with jade bones, and a pair of icy blue eyes that reflect the sun, moon and stars. There is no flaw on the beautiful face. Master, Dean. When Lu Qingchen saw the stunning woman in front of him, he almost couldn't help but shout out. I've met Dean Han. I've seen. Lu Qingshe and Long Shi saluted in turn, and Long Shi muttered indistinctly while chewing on food. Han Meng smiled slightly, and said softly to several people. That's not necessary, I just happened to pass by, you go ahead. Even though he said that, Han Meng didn't intend to leave at all. Instead, he stood quietly by the side, looking at Lu Qingchen and the others with his beautiful big eyes. Long Shi and Lu Qingshe knew the dean's character very well, and they didn't feel uneasy because there was one more person. She walked to the big black pot, looked at the big pot in front of her, and thought it was quite interesting for a while. Lu Qingchen was standing by the side processing the meat of the spirit beast. Looking at this moment, he seemed to find that Han Meng was smirking. Is it because of Sister Zai's big black pot? Thinking of this, Lu Qingchen couldn't help grinning. The storage ring flashed, and a jade bottle appeared in Han Meng's hand. Then point the mouth of the bottle at the big black cauldron, stimulate the spiritual power, and a miraculous scene happened. The water from the Hanshan pond gurgled out along the mouth of the bottle with a trace of chill. Lu Qingchen and Yushan stared at the jade bottle in Han Meng's hand. This is a kind of spiritual storage tool, which is only slightly different from ordinary storage rings. Seeing the suspicious gazes of the 2 men, Han Meng explained patiently. Soon, the water in the Hanshan pond in the black pot was filled, and the jade bottle was put away by Han Meng with a flash of light. Now Na Pingting walked towards Lu Qingchen who was processing the ingredients, and reached out to take the magical weapon from Lu Qingchen's hand. I'm coming. The voice was clear and sweet. Hastily handing the long knife in his hand to Han Meng, Lu Qingchen saw the long knife fluttering in his master's hand. After a while, the ingredients were processed. Half of it is sliced meat with uniform thickness, and the other half is processed into a length suitable for grilling. The meat of the golden horned snow antelope is crystal clear and looks very smooth and tender, and at this moment it exudes wisps of spiritual power. Han Meng put more than half of the meat slices into the big black pot, and the water in Han Tian's pool instantly locked the overflowing spiritual power. Her big beautiful eyes stared at Lu Qingchen, beckoning him to come up and light the fire. Lu Qingchen quickly released flames one after another, and the wood under the big black pot suddenly burst into flames. The fire became hotter and hotter, and the water in the big black pot gradually boiled. At this time, Long Shi, who was still gnawing on the leg of lamb, took out a large pot and covered it like a trick. The pot was covered with a bang. Li Yancheng, who was hiding in the dark, looked at Long Feng with a strange expression. The corners of Long Feng's mouth twitched uncontrollably when he saw his daughter take out a large pot lid. Dean, why is Dean Han here? Is she also here for lunch? I don't know, I can't see through this girl more and more. I didn't feel her breath when I came here. It seems that she is in charge of the area assessed by Lu Qingchen and Yushan. What you said is true. Long Feng's face suddenly became serious. The second leg of lamb was about to be cooked. Lu Qingshe glanced at Lu Qingchen and Han Meng who were standing beside him. So he walked towards the two of them, and Lu Qingchen saw his sister walking towards him with a roasted leg of lamb. Couldn't help swallowing, just about to take it. Here, Dean Han, here you are. Under Lu Qingchen's envious gaze, Lu Qingshe handed the food in his hand to Han Meng. Han Meng took the lamb leg from Lu Qingshe. He glanced at Lu Qingchen with a half smile, then handed him the food in his hand. I'm not hungry yet, let me eat for you first. The surprise came so suddenly, Lu Qingchen stared straight at the beautiful master in front of him. Stared at by his scorching eyes, Han Meng suddenly felt a little nervous, and quickly handed him the food in her hand. Lu Qingchen was not hypocritical, and after taking the leg of lamb, he began to feast on it. Bite down, the mouth is full of oil, and the roasted golden and crispy spirit beast meat has an excellent taste. After chewing a few mouthfuls, it turned into a strand of spiritual power and entered Lu Qingchen's body. The feeling of spiritual power entering his body made Lu Qingchen couldn't help shouting. Immediately afterwards, he felt the pores all over his body open, as if spewing spiritual energy. Immediately running the exercises to refine these energies, Lu Qingchen began to gobble them up. At this moment, Lu Qingchen's two supreme martial souls also automatically absorbed the spiritual power that entered Lu Qingchen's body. If you wait any longer, there will be no more. Dean, why don't you go there? Seeing that Long Feng still refused to show up, Li Yancheng said eagerly. Seeing that no one answered for a long time, Li Yancheng couldn't help looking at where Long Feng was behind him. I found that the place where the dean was just now was empty. ! At this moment, the door of the villa opened automatically, and Long Feng slowly walked towards Lu Qingchen and the others with a smile on his face. I happened to pass by here, and seeing everyone was there, I couldn't help but want to chat with you. Who wants to chat with you? Just say it if you want to have a meal. Seeing Long Feng slowly walking towards the big black pot, everyone suddenly reacted. Ignoring everyone's strange gazes, Long Feng walked straight towards the big black pot. The light flickered, and there were many treasures in the hands of the dean. Long Feng lifted the lid of the big black pot, put these treasures of heaven and earth into it, and then covered it again. Welcome Dean Long. Dean Long, please hurry up. Seeing Long Feng's generosity, Yushan and Lu Qingchen hurriedly greeted the big man in front of them. At the moment outside the gate of the villa, Lei Zan was walking slowly. He was going to Lu Qingchen's residence. Just as he went out, he found Li Yancheng, the teaching director, standing at the door of a villa, pacing back and forth. So he hurried forward and asked, Director Li, what are you doing, what's the matter? When Li Yancheng saw that it was Lei Zan, he was stunned for a moment. Looking at Lei Zan's innocent expression, he seemed to have thought of something, and a fox-like smile appeared on his face. Xiao Lei, are you hungry? Lu Qingchen and Long Shi ate very quickly. After eating, the two began to sit cross-legged, and began to absorb the essence contained in the meat of the King Realm spirit beast. After a while, the bodies of the two began to glow, silently refining the extremely huge spiritual power in their bodies. Han Meng and Long Feng stared at the two earnestly from the side, worried that the spiritual power in their bodies was too large to be absorbed. It can only be said that this kind of worry is unnecessary. As the core students of Tiandao Holy Academy, both of them have their own advantages. To the surprise of the two principals, Lu Qingchen absorbed the huge essence in his body before Long Shi. Breaking through another layer, this is too easy. Lu Qingchen said with emotion in his heart. Just as he was feeling emotional, he suddenly found that Long Zai's eyes were looking at him, revealing a trace of envy. What's wrong, Sister Shi? Seeing Long Zai's reaction, Lu Qingchen asked suspiciously. Long Shi shook his head, didn't say anything, but stood up and turned to Lu Qingchen with a smile. The soup will be ready soon, can you still drink it? No problem. Lu Qingchen patted his chest, which was a trivial matter for him. Lu Qingchen, who possesses two supreme martial souls, requires extremely terrifying resources for cultivation. If it were another student from the spiritual martial realm, he would not be able to eat so much spirit beast meat. Just eating a little is enough to break through a small realm. If he ate like Lu Qingchen, he would probably be full before he finished eating. Long Feng could clearly see a trace of loneliness in his daughter's eyes, and he couldn't help sighing inwardly. Long Zai's martial spirit is a bit special. If he wants to break through, it is impossible to rely on ordinary natural treasures or soul stones. This time Tiandao Shengyuan sent people to the major martial arts test sites to find people. In fact, it was also Long Feng's intention. He could only wait and see. Long Feng shook his head and didn't think about it anymore. Boom boom boom. Just as everyone was about to drink soup, there was a knock on the door. Yu Shan opened the door and saw Lei Zan, who had introduced them to the school before, stood impressively at the door. At this moment, Lei Zan was carrying a lot of packed cooked food in both hands, and seeing Yu Shan open the door, he couldn't help grinning. Xiao Yu, I just came from the cafeteria, I thought you guys didn't eat. At this time, a figure came out from behind Lei Zan. It was Li Yancheng, the teaching director. He is exactly the same as Lei Zan at the moment, with many things in his hands. I ran into Xiao Lei in the cafeteria, and I heard from him that you haven't eaten yet, and there is a message to inform you. This clumsy lie made everyone in the courtyard speechless. Looking for 2 freshmen to find the third-year core students to come here. However, seeing that the teaching director had come, everyone still welcomed him in. I've seen Dean Long, I've seen Dean Han. As soon as he entered the door, Li Yancheng took the initiative to say hello. Han Meng nodded to him, while Long Feng gave him an approving look. Soon the last 2 lamb legs were roasted, and Lu Qingxie handed one of them to Han Meng. For the last one, she hesitated whether to give it to the dean or Yu Shan. Li Yancheng and Lei Zan could only watch helplessly. It seemed that they didn't have their share. After thinking for a few seconds, Lu Qingxie still decided to give it to the dean. One is afraid that Yu Shan won't be able to absorb it if he eats so much spirit beast meat. In addition, this spirit beast was originally brought by Long Shi from the dean, and just now Long Feng brought out many treasures from heaven and earth. Just when Lu Qingxie was about to hand the last roast leg of lamb to Long Feng, a jade hand suddenly appeared in the void, and gently took the last lamb leg. Everyone was stunned by this operation. Who could take away the food they wanted from Long Feng? At this time, a complete figure stepped out of the void. I saw that she was tall and slim, with a fiery figure, and she had an ethereal and arrogant temperament on her body. But it's a pity that there is a veil on her face, so that everyone can't see her face clearly. When Lu Qingxie saw the figure appearing in front of her, she shouted in surprise. Master, why are you here? I just happened to pass by and came to see you. A cold voice sounded. Come here if you come. Why are you grabbing my leg of lamb? Staring at the figure at this moment, Long Feng said helplessly. Where did I rob you of your food? It was clearly given to me by Xiaoshui herself. The sound is as clear and sweet as pearls falling on a jade plate. Seeing that she was being unreasonable, Long Feng had no choice. You can't do it for a roast leg of lamb, and it's hard to say whether you can beat it. Seeing that the last leg of lamb was already in possession, Lei Zan and Li Yancheng couldn't help turning their eyes to the black pot. Master, why did you come here all of a sudden, and even made a special trip to see me? Lu Qingxie was very pleasantly surprised. She knew her master's temperament. Cultivation feels a bit boring recently, so I came out to relax and come to see you. Even so, the woman turned her attention to Lu Qingchen, who was waiting by the scapegoat. Seeing this situation, Long Feng immediately felt something was wrong, and quickly changed the subject. Yancheng, didn't you see that Director Nangong is here? Go back and bring the wine I treasured. It's hard to see Director Nangong once. I want to do my best to be a landlord. As he spoke, he winked at Li Yancheng, signaling him to go quickly. Oh, all right. As if he understood what Long Feng meant, Li Yancheng turned into a stream of light and disappeared in an instant. The rest of you looked at me and I looked at you, but they didn't speak for a while. The people present are all human beings, and Lei Zan and others, who are senior core students, know the reason for this. They all shut up and stopped talking. Lu Qingchen and Yu Shan didn't speak again when they saw the reaction of the crowd. So the big black pot that was still boiling at this moment became the focus of everyone's attention. The atmosphere on the field gradually became a little strange. God, that's how things are. The dean asked me to come here and report to you. In a quiet secret room, Li Yancheng said anxiously to a white-haired old man. Are you sure it's the Supreme Martial Soul? It hasn't appeared for many years. I don't quite believe what that kid Long Feng said. The white-haired old man shook his head, apparently not believing what Li Yancheng said. What Dean Long said this time must be true, and Dean Nangong has also passed away, in case they are robbed by their holy court. Hearing the word holy court, the white-haired old man couldn't help but stare. Are you sure what you said is true? I promise. Li Yancheng said loudly. Okay, I see. The highest meeting of the Tianyuan will be held at noon tomorrow. You should go back first. A faint voice came from the old man's mouth. A third-grade building in the core area. There is a circular dining table in the courtyard at the moment. Everyone in the room sat around the dining table, as if it was a gathering of friends. However, there is no lively atmosphere like a dinner with friends. At this moment, everyone at the dining table has evil intentions, their eyes are sharp and somewhat weird. Lu Qingchen could clearly feel that the dining table was divided into 3 camps. One side is headed by Long Feng, and the other side is that Dean Nangong. The other party is Lu Qingchen, Yu Shan and Lei Zan. Long Shi and Long Feng should be father and daughter, and his chief master should also belong to the same department as Long Feng. My own sister stood on the side of her master, of course I don't know if she did it voluntarily. Lu Qingchen's judgment was very accurate, but he still didn't understand why so many big figures came all of a sudden. Could it be that they came to eat the golden-horned snow antelope in King Realm? The atmosphere at the dining table gradually turned cold, and the sharp eyes of the 2 deans collided. The 2 auras emanated from the 2 of them respectively, and everyone couldn't help but feel a huge pressure. Crunch. At this moment, a figure pushed open the door. The momentum of the 2 of them subsided instantly. It was Li Yancheng who came and returned. Seeing the silent crowd around the dining table, Li Yancheng stood at the door with 2 bottles of wine in his hand and said, Hey, I'm back. Everyone has black lines. Is it ready for dinner? Yu Shan stared at the abundant food in front of him, and asked weakly. Lu Qingchen looked at the good brother next to him with extremely surprised eyes. After being stunned for a few seconds, he couldn't help shaking his head helplessly. Long Feng said to him gently at this moment, Of course, eat more lads. As he spoke, he picked up a plate containing many barbecues and handed it to him. Thank you, Dean. Yu Shan took the barbecue from the dean, and was just about to eat it, when suddenly a pleasant voice came from his ear. Is it a little greasy to eat barbecue meat? Would you like some vegetables? Nangong Qianyu pushed a plate of vegetables in front of Yu Shan with a smile, and motioned him to eat it with barbecue. Brother Chen, don't you eat? Seeing that no one moved their chopsticks, Yu Shan asked Lu Qingchen weakly. I could see the corners of Lu Qingchen's mouth twitching at this moment, and thought to himself, the 2 deans haven't moved their chopsticks yet. As if feeling that the atmosphere was too awkward, Li Yancheng hurriedly put 2 bottles of wine on the table, found a seat and sat down. As soon as the good wine was served, the atmosphere on the table instantly became lighter. Lu Qingchen, you did well in the freshman assessment this time, I'm optimistic about you. Under the signal of Long Feng's eyes, Li Yancheng raised his glass to Lu Qingchen. Lu Qingchen quickly raised his glass and responded. I heard that a trial secret realm from the ancient times was discovered above this time. I heard that it has not been explored yet. Nangong Qianyu started the topic. Yes, I heard that the freshman trial will be cancelled this time, and it will become a place where freshmen from martial arts academies across the country will participate in the secret trial. Can it only be a freshman? Lei Zan asked. Not exactly, but only students below the Earth martial realm can enter, that is to say, students who have surpassed the spirit martial realm will not be able to enter. As soon as he heard that only those at the spiritual martial realm could participate, Lei Zan immediately lost his energy. But this trial secret realm is extremely special. I heard from the people above that the rewards are extremely difficult. As soon as they heard the reward, Lu Qingchen and Yu Shan became interested. Seeing the reaction of the 2, Long Feng couldn't help a little approving. It seems that these 2 little guys have a lot of thoughts. The news is not very accurate yet, but it should be fully confirmed after 2 or 3 days. Nangong Qianyu said with a smile, interrupting what Long Feng was going to say next. Long Feng glanced at her angrily, and could only toast to everyone. After drinking a glass of wine, the consciousness of Lu Qingchen and the others became more and more blurred. Finally, after Li Yancheng fell down, there were only 3 deans present. Long Feng looked a little proud at the moment, and raised his glass to Nangong Qianyu with a smile. Dean Nangong, do you want to continue? I haven't had my fill yet. Nangong Qianyu rolled his eyes at him, ignored him, and left quietly. Hey, you still want to grab me, you are a little tender. At this moment, Long Feng was in an extremely comfortable mood, and he couldn't help feeling proud. It's just that he didn't realize that at the moment Nangong Qianyu left, an inconspicuous light fell on Lu Qingchen, who was lying on the ground. Because of the importance of the Supreme Martial Soul, both Tianyuan and Shengyuan wanted to accept Lu Qingchen. But now that Long Feng got everyone drunk, he had enough time to prepare. He is confident that he will take down Lu Qingchen after he is fully prepared. Han Meng was drinking on her own right now, watching the confrontation between the 2 deans. Her expression became weird. If they knew that I had accepted Xiaochen as a disciple in advance. It lasted until night before Lu Qingchen woke up slowly. Taking a look at where he was, Lu Qingchen shook his head. Shouldn't I be lying outside? How could I be in the house? Just when Lu Qingchen was a little confused, the door was pushed open. Hey, Xiaochen, you woke up so soon. Seeing that her younger brother woke up so early, Lu Qingshe couldn't help asking in surprise. I just woke up, sister. What about Yushan and the others? Why am I in the room? Lei Zan and the others are downstairs. I brought you and Xiaoxi into the room. Seeing that he was a little confused, Lu Qingshe explained softly. Lu Qingchen nodded, got up and got out of bed to go to the living room. Just when he got up, Lu Qingchen found that the soul power in his body had increased a lot, and he felt refreshed for a while. With a thought, he opened the information panel, and Lu Qingchen began to investigate. Host: Lu Qingchen, Martial Soul, Sun Golden Crow, Golden Emperor Dragon, Fortune Jade God Lotus. Realm: Awakening Realm 7th Layer. Spiritual Power: Haoyu 5th Level. Cultivation Methods: Burning the Holy Code, the Immortal Body of the Emperor Dragon, and the Good Fortune Jade Pure Heart Sutra. Supernatural Powers: Not Open. Items: Dongguang Bell, Xiaohaohua Pill 1, Burning God Seed, Star Refining Cauldron, Soul Stone 10,100. Breaking through 2 small realms in one day made Lu Qingchen feel that it was too easy to break through the realm. But what he didn't consider was how precious and rare the spirit beast meat in the King realm was. And except for those few people, the entire academy, including the students in the inner courtyard, had never eaten spirit beast meat from the King realm. Lu Qingchen walked out of the room and came to the living room on the 1st floor. Yushan and Lei Zan were still sound asleep at this time. Lu Qingchen glanced around. No sign of Long Shi was found. Seeing Lu Qingchen's actions, Lu Qingshe chuckled lightly, and teased. What's wrong, Xiaochen, who are you looking for? Lu Qingchen scratched his head and said embarrassedly. I thought Sister Shi was here too. Where is she? She woke up just now, and was taken back to the inner courtyard by Dean Long. I heard that she was explaining something. Lu Qingchen nodded, not surprised by what his sister said. Anyone with a discerning eye can tell that the Dean is Long Zai's father. By the way, sister, can the college points only be exchanged for soul stones, and is there any other effect? Points are very important. They can be exchanged for a lot of training resources, including some combat skills and divine weapons. Lu Qingshe patiently explained. You have just entered school and haven't attended class yet. The teacher of the college will tell you after the class. Let me take you to the resource hall to have a look first. Without disturbing Lei Zan and Yushan, who were still asleep, Lu Qingchen followed his sister directly to the Hall of Resources. It is said that it is a resource hall, but it is actually not very big. It is similar to the big cafeteria for students. Lu Qingchen counted, and there were almost 30 windows. Countless students are coming in and out. Obviously this resource hall is more popular than the cafeteria. When some of the senior students saw Lu Qingshe coming here, they couldn't help staring at them with fiery eyes. Seeing this situation, Lu Qingchen couldn't help but joked. Sister, it seems that you are very popular in the outer courtyard. Lu Qingshe stared at him with bright eyes, and said to him angrily. Do you want to be beaten? You dare to tease your sister. Where is there? What is there? Just kidding. Lu Qingchen touched the tip of his nose and quickly argued. Leading Lu Qingchen straight to a window, Lu Qingshui's cold voice sounded. Hello, please give me a copy of the resource exchange information between the inner court and the outer court. As soon as the young woman at the window saw the golden school badge, she quickly took out 2 jade tubes and handed them to Lu Qingshui. Hold the jade tube and urge a little soul power to see it. Lu Qingshui's crisp voice sounded. Holding the jade tube in his hand, Lu Qingchen activated a bit of soul power. The jade tube suddenly burst into light, forming a bright light curtain in front of his eyes. The resources that can be exchanged inside appear on the light curtain like a menu. Lu Qingchen looked at the line of boys in front of him, and quickly observed. After searching for a long time, Lu Qingchen found that apart from pills and soul stones and some daily necessities, there was basically nothing else. I can't help being a little disappointed, there are too few things that can be exchanged. Look at the other jade tube. Seeing Lu Qingchen's appearance, Lu Qingshui couldn't help reminding. Hearing what his sister said, Lu Qingchen mobilized his soul power and began to explore another jade tube. A light curtain nearly 5 times larger than before appeared in front of him. Not only that, each item on the light curtain has a corresponding picture and introduction. Red flame knife, a ground-level top-grade spiritual tool, with a trace of red flame attached to the attack, which can cause a burning effect. The blade is made of fine iron mixed with red flame stone, and it is extremely sharp. Points required for redemption, 100. Small soul pill, after taking it, can enhance one's own soul power, which is easier to absorb than soul stones. Points required for redemption, 10. Bai Ling Ju, low-grade cultivation method of heaven rank, points required for redemption, 500. Quote. Seeing this, Lu Qingchen couldn't help grinning, he seemed to be able to exchange a lot of things. Continue to look behind. Star grass, a body-hardening type of heavenly material and earthly treasure, grown by condensing the power of stars, has an excellent body-hardening effect. Points required for redemption, 300. Quote. Found it. Lu Qingchen's eyes lit up. This is exactly the cultivation resource needed for the first layer of the Emperor Dragon immortal body. Every time the Dailong indestructible body breaks through a layer, a dragon pattern will be formed on the body. After reaching the 5 dragon patterns, it will transform into the Emperor Dragon Saint body. And as long as you reach the first level of the Emperor Dragon immortal body, you can cultivate the real dragon chi. Sister, I want to exchange for star grass, how should I exchange this? Hearing Lu Qingchen's voice, Lu Qingshui went straight to the window and said to the staff. Hello, help me exchange 10 star grass. As she spoke, she handed a nameplate to the staff. The staff member picked up another nameplate and bumped it, then returned the nameplate to her. There are 3,000 points in total, and these are 10 star grasses. The staff member took out 10 grasses shining with stars and handed them to Lu Qingshui. After taking back the nameplate and the star grass, Lu Qingshui stuffed the 10 star grass into Lu Qingchen's arms. Let me know what cultivation resources you need in the future at the window, and then give the nameplate to the staff. Lu Qingchen nodded, and then put away the 10 star grasses in his arms. Although she was a little curious about what Lu Qingchen wanted the star grass to do, she still didn't intend to ask. After all, the younger brother must have his own secrets when he grows up. Sister, how many points do you have? This star grass is for me to practice. As if knowing the question in Lu Qingshui's mind, Lu Qingchen explained. I still have a lot of points, don't worry, if you don't have enough points in the future, just tell me. Lu Qingshui's soft voice sounded, and Lu Qingchen nodded towards her. Aside from exchanging soul stones for this academy point, is there any other way to get it? Lu Qingchen asked curiously. Actually, the students are not very supportive of exchanging soul stones, because the ratio is very high. You can exchange it for points by doing some tasks, or handing in some natural treasures and materials that you don't need. Many inner court students will often hunt some spirit beasts or look for some elixir to exchange for the cultivation resources they need. After 2 days of class, the instructor will tell you about these things. Lu Qingshui explained clearly about her younger brother's doubts. After listening to her words, Lu Qingchen understood, so he hurriedly dragged Lu Qingshui to a remote place. With a flash of light, Lu Qingchen had 5 more lotus seeds in his hand, and handed them to Lu Qingshe. Hey, Xiaochen, what's the use of these lotus seeds? Lu Qingshe looked at the lotus seeds in his hand for a long time, but found nothing unusual. Sister, this is the lotus seed of the jade god lotus, you take it, this lotus seed can increase your lifespan by 5 years. Lu Qingchen said in a low voice. What did you say? Lu Qingshui's eyes widened. You heard me right, just accept it. Taking a deep look at the handsome young man in front of him, Lu Qingshe quickly put away the lotus seeds without asking any more questions. I just swore in my heart that I would never let anyone know about this matter. Core student area. Yu Shan and Lei Zan, who were still soundly asleep, have woken up. The two were sitting in the living room eating melon seeds and chatting. Long Shi paced back and forth in the courtyard, with a hint of anxiety in his pale red eyes. Where did Xiaoshui and the others go? Why haven't they come back? After waiting for a long time, Long Shi became a little confused. Swish. 2 rays of light fell. It was Lu Qingchen and Lu Qingshe. Xiaoshui, you are finally back, why did you go? Let me wait for a long time. Long Shi had a resentful face, and stared at the two of them with pale red eyes. I just took Xiaochen to the resource hall to exchange some cultivation resources. What's the matter, Xiaoxi, is there anything important? It turns out that I went to change the cultivation resources. I thought, why did you go there? Long Shi patted his proud twin peaks, signaling that he understood. It's because of the secret realm trial last time. Dad asked me to bring the 5 freshmen who won the final victory to the inner courtyard. Hearing that the new students were brought to the inner courtyard, Lu Qingshui's eyes froze. Does the academy take this trial of the secret realm so seriously? It seems that the secret realm is not easy this time. Yes, I heard from my father that this time it is only for students in the Lingwu realm, and there are only 10 places in each of the 3 famous schools. And also, as soon as the topic started, Long Shi couldn't stop talking. Lu Qingshe asked helplessly, then there are 3 more people, when will we take them to the inner courtyard? Should be coming soon, I have asked someone to notify them just now. Call out. After the voice fell, 3 lights and shadows fell, which were the other 3 people who had won the freshman trial. Meet the senior sister. The 3 of them greeted Long Shi and Lu Qingshe politely when they saw Long Shi and Lu Qingshe. Lu Qingshe nodded at several people, while Long Shi said in a cold voice. Now that everyone is here, let's go to the inner courtyard. At the moment, several golden nameplates were handed over to Lu Qingshen and the others. I'll call Yu Shan over here. Seeing that his good brother was not there, Lu Qingshen said quickly. Walking into the living room, I found that the two were eating melon seeds and chatting, and the words were full of joy. Seeing Lu Qingshen walking into the living room, the two of them gave him a symbolic look, then turned their heads and continued chatting. Lu Qingshen said with a black line on his face. Everyone is here outside. Senior sister Long Shi is going to take us to the inner courtyard. After speaking, he turned and walked out. I don't know if he heard the word, Long Shi, or, inner courtyard. Lei Zan, who was chatting and laughing just now, stopped immediately. Yu Shan quickly got up from the big soft sofa, and followed Lu Qingshen outside. Seeing the 2 people came out, Long Shi said angrily. Why don't you continue chatting, huh? Haven't you finished talking yet? The 2 smiled awkwardly. Handing the last golden nameplate to Yu Shan, Long Shi continued. After a while, inject a little soul power into the nameplate, and then you can go to the inner courtyard. After listening to what Long Shi said, Lu Qingshen nodded, and then injected a trace of soul power into the nameplate. Didn't call you now. Before the words fell, Yu Shan and Lu Qingshen disappeared. For a moment, everyone was silent. Lu Qingshe stroked her forehead helplessly, while Long Shi laughed angrily. These 2 brats, Lu Qingshen and Yu Shan, who injected a trace of soul power into the nameplate, appeared in another space at this moment. The scene in front of them shocked them. There are independent courtyards here, which are many times larger than the core area where they were before. These courtyards are also built around a lake just like the villas in the core area. However, this lake is not the other lake. Compared with the artificial lake in the outer courtyard, the lake here is extremely spectacular. The mist rising from the lake embellishes the courtyards around the lake like a landscape painting. Lu Qingshen stared wide-eyed and found that it wasn't fog at all, it was strands of condensed aura. A huge palace seems to be located above the clouds, and there is also a huge tower towering into the sky. People can't see the height of this tower at all. The environment of the outer courtyard cannot be compared with it at all. This place is simply a fairyland on earth. This is the inner courtyard. Both of them stared wide-eyed, forgetting what they were going to do for a while. At this moment, Longxi and the others were still standing outside the villa, as if they were waiting for someone. Are you all here? If you are all here, you can pass. A figure appeared. It was Li Yancheng, the teaching director of the outer courtyard. Glancing at the students in front of him, the dean asked with some doubts. Hey, didn't you notify Lu Qingchen and Yushan? Everyone looked strange, but Longxi was a little helpless. They went in early. Hearing her words, Li Yancheng was stunned for a moment, then smiled and said. Did you go in early? It's interesting. Let's go in now. Then the figure disappeared in front of everyone. Seeing that Li Yancheng had already taken a step ahead, everyone quickly poured their soul power into the golden nameplate. The next moment, all the students who were outside the villa just now disappeared. The people who had just entered the inner courtyard did not see the magnificent buildings and fairyland on earth at first sight. It was the backs of Lu Qingchen and Yushan's heads. At this moment, Lu Qingchen was lamenting the cultivation environment in the inner courtyard, when he was suddenly hit on the back of the head. Turning around immediately, he found Longxi looking at him with a smile behind him. How about it? Did the environment in the inner courtyard shock you? Lu Qingchen nodded. That's right, I didn't expect there to be such a place, it seems to be another world. Longxi glanced at Lu Qingchen with deep meaning in his eyes, and said inscrutably. Starting today, your cognition may undergo earth-shaking changes. At this moment, not only Lu Qingchen and Yushan, but also the other three freshmen who came together had the same reaction as the two. Murong Qingqing, Mu Ningyu and Zheng Yu also looked at the inner courtyard in shock. They couldn't believe that this was just the inner courtyard of an academy. The huge palace standing on the clouds and the towering towers are all shaking their hearts. Li Yancheng was not at all surprised by their reactions, because he was the same as the current freshman back then. Let's go, I'll take you to see the dean first. Several people followed Li Yancheng to a small 3-story pavilion. This small attic does not look very delicate, but the whole attic exudes a sense of simplicity and vicissitudes. Lu Qingchen and several other freshmen stared at the small attic with some curiosity. They don't know where it is. Only Lei Zan, Lu Qingxie and Longxi stared wide-eyed, looking at the simple and vicissitudes of life in front of them in shock. Turning to look at Li Yancheng beside him, Lei Zan asked with a trembling voice. Director Li, this is to bring the freshmen into here. Hearing Lei Zan's words, Li Yancheng nodded to him seriously. The three of you wait here first, I will take them in first. Li Yancheng said to Lu Qingxie and the others. No, since you're here, let's come in together. A gentle voice resounded, making several people feel as comfortable as bathing in the spring breeze. The three of Lu Qingxie were stunned for a moment, and the next moment, their faces were filled with surprise. Let's go. As Li Yancheng's voice sounded, everyone followed closely. There is nothing special in this small attic, it just looks very simple. With the sound of dang, 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 going upstairs, everyone couldn't help feeling a little nervous. When he reached the 3rd floor of the small attic, Li Yancheng took a step forward. He tapped lightly on one of the conference rooms. There was a creak sound, and it was Long Feng, the dean of Tianyuan, who opened the door. Looking at the nervous core students in front of him, Long Feng smiled slightly. Come in, all. Hearing the dean's voice, they no longer hesitated, and walked into the conference room one after another. As soon as he walked into this conference room, Lu Qingchen discovered that the floor was actually paved with stones similar to soul stones. Everyone walked on it, and extremely strong spiritual power rushed into their bodies one after another. How comfortable it would be to practice here, Lu Qingchen thought. Apart from a few ordinary pieces of furniture, Nuoda's meeting room only has a round table. Lu Qingchen took a closer look and found that there were 11 seats in total. I have seen you seniors. Li Yancheng took a step forward and bowed in the direction of the round table. Have those little guys come. If they come forward and let us old men take a good look. A very old but powerful voice came. Under Li Yancheng's gaze, 5 freshmen including Lu Qingchen took a step forward. This allowed Lu Qingchen and the others to see the appearance of the seniors in front of them a little bit. Except for the 4 old men on the outermost side, the 2 seniors on the innermost side are all flawed. The old man who made the sound just now had only 1 arm. And the white-haired old man sitting next to him has only 1 eye. This made Lu Qingchen and the others feel a little complicated. Did it scare you guys? These injuries were left by us decades ago. As if guessing their thoughts, the one-armed old man said to them with a gentle smile. Salute to all seniors. Long Feng's voice came, but this time his voice was full of majesty. Lu Qingchen and the others bowed to salute the old men one after another. The 6 old men in front of you are the patron saints of this academy and the entire Hua Kingdom. Decades ago, creatures from another world wanted to invade our world, and countless spirit warriors were sacrificed at that time. In the end, it was the seniors of the academy and the seniors of the Huaguo Temple who resisted desperately, in exchange for today's peaceful era. Quote, so the seniors in front of you deserve your respect. What Long Feng said caused a drastic change in the mentality of Lu Qingchen and the others. There is actually another world, and this world wants to invade the place where we live. It's alright, Zhaofeng, we only fulfilled our responsibilities back then, and the country of Hua is no longer what it used to be. As for the future of the academy and even Huaguo, it still depends on these outstanding children. The one-armed old man on the innermost side spoke softly, making several freshmen couldn't help but clench their fists. Children, I called you here this time because there is an extremely important trial that needs you to do it. This trial is related to the fate of the Heavenly Tao Holy Academy and even the future of Huaguo. Here, I would like to thank you on behalf of Tiandao Holy Academy. Quote, as soon as the words fell, the 5 deans and 6 seniors of the academy stood up and bowed slightly to them. Boom. For a moment, the minds of Lu Qingchen and the others turned blank. What is this doing? What happened? How does it feel to be living in a dream? These are the 11 people with the highest authority in the Heavenly Tao Holy Academy, and they even saluted them. For a while, several people froze in place, without a single movement. Children, come here and get your own things. After everyone saluted, the voice of the one-armed old man sounded again. Before Lu Qingchen and Murong Qingqing could react, they were brought to this round table by Long Feng. There were 5 exquisite jade boxes on the table, and Lu Qingchen had seen the contents in the jade boxes. It turned out to be 5 soul beads. At this moment, the soul beads in these jade boxes are in different shapes, exuding a seductive halo. With a wave of Long Feng's arm, these jade boxes flew into the hands of Lu Qingchen and the others. Flying to the jade box in Lu Qingchen's hand, there was a water blue soul orb inside. This is specially prepared by the academy for you this time, and it is also to give you a guarantee during this trip to the secret realm. Put it away first, someone will help you absorb it after the meeting is over. Long Feng's voice sounded, and the 5 of them put away the soul orbs one after another. All deans, join the ranks, and the meeting can begin. As soon as the voice fell, several figures appeared on the few empty chairs in an instant. Lu Qingchen took a closer look and found that they were several deans he had seen before. His chief master is also here. Zhaofeng, you will preside over the next meeting. Yes, Long Feng replied. Looking at the 5 freshmen in front of him, Long Feng suddenly became serious. Listen carefully to what I'm going to say next. He paused, and glanced at the serious expressions of the 5 people. Because this trial is not only related to the future fate of Huaguo and the academy, but also has a huge relationship with your lives. What? Hearing this, apart from Lu Qingchen and Yu Shan, the others could not help but exclaim. After taking a deep look at the 2 of them, Long Feng continued. The location of this trial is in the center of this area, where there is a secret realm that has not been explored by anyone. According to the information from the temple, there is an opportunity for the top soul fighters in Hua Kingdom to break through. Quote, what you have to do after you go in is to find some inheritance as much as possible. Try to find some powerful inheritance inside while ensuring your own safety as much as possible. There are countless resources and treasures in the secret realm. If you can't find the inheritance, it is quite good to get some natural treasures and magical weapons. After entering, the 5 of you will randomly appear in various places in the secret realm. You'd better get together before competing with others. Quote, This time, not only our Tiandao Holy Academy, but also all the Wuhan University and even the people from the temple in Wagwo will go to the secret realm. And the most important thing this time is that creatures from another world will also go to this secret realm to compete with you. Creatures from another world participate. Several people trembled when they heard this, as if they had thought of something. Seeing everyone's reaction, Long Feng's face was solemn, and he said in a deep voice, "That's right, the creatures that invaded our world decades ago, they will also enter the secret realm this time. So the first task of the 5 of you is to protect yourself, and fight for opportunities when you are safe. If you encounter creatures from another world, try not to keep them alive. If you can't beat them, run away." Lu Qingchen and the other 5 continued to nod their heads, indicating that they understood. "That's all we know for the time being. The secret realm will open in a month. What you have to do now is to maximize your strength. In this month, the college will have a tutor to guide you 5, understand?" Quote. "Understood," the 5 said loudly. "Then this meeting will end here, and Lu Qingchen will stay here. The rest of you go to the practice room on the 2nd floor first, where a mentor is waiting for you." Quote. "Yes," several people answered in response, and then walked to the 2nd floor one after another. Watching them leave, Long Feng nodded slightly satisfied. He could clearly see just now that these freshmen had listened to what he said. Lu Qingchen was a little surprised why the dean left him alone. Long Feng stared at him with a smile in his eyes for a long time, making Lu Qingchen tremble uncontrollably. The dean wouldn't have that kind of habit. Thinking of this, Lu Qingchen got goosebumps all over his body. But at this moment, Long Feng didn't know what Lu Qingchen was thinking. After staring at him for a while, he smiled and said to him, "Don't worry, I have something to tell you later." Seeing that the dean said that he would have to wait, Lu Qingchen stayed aside and began to close his eyes to rest. "Lei Zan, Lu Qingshe, Long Shi, you 3 come here." Hearing Long Feng's words, the 3 of them hurried forward. "You should have heard what I said just now, the 5 of them just entered school. It is necessary to represent the academy to fight for resources, and even part of it represents the future of the academy." Quote. Glancing at the 3 people in front of him, the dean continued. "Very good. Lu Qingshe has already broken through Zun Wu, you 2 are at the 8th level of Tian Wu and the other at the 9th level of Tian Wu. My request to you is that within 6 months, all of you will break through to the martial realm, and you will be listed on the Tianzhao list." Upon hearing this request, Lei Zan became a little anxious, and quickly said, "Dean, breaking through 2 realms in 6 months is a bit difficult." Long Feng waited for him. "The college will provide all the cultivation resources you need within 6 months. Hearing this, both Lu Qingshe and Lei Zan couldn't help being a little happy. "Then I'm fine," Lei Zan assured, patting his chest. Only Long Shi, who was at the side, didn't speak, and didn't seem very interested. Regarding the situation of his daughter, even Long Feng, the dean, was very troubled. It is so rare to find training resources that contain the aura of a real dragon, although there are many treasures of heaven and earth that contain the aura of dragons in the college's treasure house. But not all dragons are real dragons. Thinking of this, the dean couldn't help but frown. But it only lasted for a few seconds. The dean's body suddenly shook, and there was a look of surprise on his face. Immediately said to Long Shi, "The resources you need for cultivation have already been solved, but it will take a little time." Really, hearing what his father said, Long's body shook and he almost fell down. Smiling and nodding at her, Long Feng waved his hand. "The 3 of you go back first, remember to practice hard." The 3 gradually left. Before leaving, Lu Qingshe glanced at her younger brother, meaning to see her later. Ever since, only Lu Qingchen was left on the scene. All the big shots were staring at him with burning eyes at this moment, making Lu Qingchen feel like a delicious meal. Immediately he couldn't help but smile. "My lord, is there anything I need to do?" "Ruzi can be taught." After hearing Lu Qingchen's words, Long Feng patted him on the shoulder with satisfaction. "There are indeed some things that need to be done by you. It's like this. The 2nd floor of Tiansheng Pavilion." At this time, Yu Shan and the other 4 had arrived at the practice room on the 2nd floor. Just opened the door and went in, and found that there were 4 mentors waiting for them inside. 2 male mentors and 2 female mentors. Seeing the four of them coming, several tutors got up quickly. You come with me, a male mentor said to Yushan, with a kind smile on his rough face. Why is it a male tutor again? Yushan yelled in his heart. Arriving at a special training room, Yushan took out the soul orb under the guidance of the instructor. Opening the jade box, the soul orb emitted a golden light. Good luck, this is an attack-type soul orb, which happens to be obtained from a strength-type soul beast. The rough-faced male mentor said with a smile. Yushan scratched his head, he didn't quite understand the function and effect of the soul orb. You will know after you fuse, now close your eyes and release the martial spirit. Hearing what the instructor said, Yushan didn't think about it anymore, and silently started to release his martial soul. It's almost like this time the competition between the various forces is fierce. Don't hold back anyone, even people from other Wuhan universities in Wagwo. Quote. After listening to what Long Feng said, Lu Qingchen nodded slowly. He basically understood that this trial in the secret realm is very important. Whether it is the three famous schools or other ordinary Wuhan universities, they will send students to participate. As long as they enter the secret realm, they are all enemies. And the 5 people sent by the Monster Academy this time are all extremely powerful. You must not ignore it. I heard that this year's students are all geniuses. Quote. There is news that a freshman from the Monster Academy has broken through to the 8th level of Lingwu. You must be careful then. Long Feng said with a solemn face. The student who clashed with you in the National Martial Arts test last time is called Yao Chengwu, do you remember? Long Feng asked suddenly. Hearing the words Yao Chengwu, Lu Qingchen thought of the assassination he encountered after the assessment. If it wasn't for Han Meng's attack, his and Yushan's lives might be in danger. As if seeing through Lu Qingchen's inner thoughts, Long Feng said meaningfully. I heard that among the students sent by the Monster Academy this time, there is Yao Chengwu. Hearing this, Lu Qingchen couldn't help clenching his fists. And this time in the secret realm trial, no one can see what's going on inside, understand? An imperceptible coldness flashed in his eyes. Lu Qingchen calmly listened to the dean's words. The killing intent in his heart rose slowly uncontrollably. I understand. After a moment of silence, a slightly chilly voice sounded. Seeing Lu Qingchen's reaction, Long Feng nodded in satisfaction. His purpose is to let Lu Qingchen and the others understand the cruelty of martial arts as soon as possible during this trip to the secret realm. At the same time, let Lu Qingchen and the others see how the geniuses from the lower temple and another world treat this trial. Thinking of this, he suddenly began to look forward to what kind of performance these freshmen would have in the secret realm in a month's time. Continuing now, some people die when they die, and no one will know in the secret realm. Even if you know, what can you do? There is the Heavenly Dao Holy Court behind you. Quote. Long Feng was extremely confident when he said this. Not only because of the strong strength of Tiandao Holy Academy, but also because of his confidence in his own strength. Lu Qingchen nodded thoughtfully. He had already made a certain decision in his heart. That's all I've said about the trials in the secret realm, and I have a personal request. Long Feng stared at Lu Qingchen's delicate face, as if he wanted to see through his inner thoughts. Smiling at Dean Long in front of him, Lu Qingchen said seriously. What is the dean's order? As long as you can do it, you will do your best. If there are treasures of heaven and earth or magical weapons that contain the breath of a real dragon in the secret realm, if you can get them, try to get them. This has something to do with the little girl's cultivation. Long Feng was very satisfied with Lu Qingchen's reaction, so he expressed his request. No problem, if I encounter a treasure of heaven and earth or some other items that contain the breath of a real dragon, I will try my best to get it. Lu Qingchen said. This request is not too difficult for him. Then there is nothing else to do. Go to the 2nd floor, someone will help you absorb the soul orb. Saluted to several seniors again. Under the eyes of many seniors, Lu Qingchen slowly left the conference room. After leaving the conference room, Lu Qingchen went downstairs, thinking about what the dean had just said to him. It seems that this trial in the secret realm is even more cruel than I imagined. The school has spent so much energy and natural resources to help this year's freshmen improve their strength. Not only for the freshmen to compete for inheritance, but more importantly, to let them grow up earlier. If only a soul warrior in the spirit realm could enter the secret realm. Then in the second year, you can just find a few students who are at the 9th level of the spiritual martial realm. Moreover, the second year students have more experience, which is better than their uneven freshmen. And outside the secret realm, you can't see anything happening in the secret realm at all. This also means that people who died in the secret realm really died in vain. Lu Qingchen walked towards the second floor while thinking about this. While walking, Lu Qingchen suddenly bumped into a beautiful figure in front of him. However, there was no pain, and Lu Qingchen felt very comfortable instead. "Excuse me," Lu Qingchen said quickly, and then couldn't help but look up. The stunning woman in front of her was staring at Lu Qingchen with a little embarrassment in her beautiful ice blue eyes. "Master, Dean Han." Seeing the person in front of him clearly, Lu Qingchen blurted out in surprise. "Fortunately, I reacted quickly, otherwise in this attic, everyone would know that he already has a master." Han Meng stared at him unkindly. "Why are you so engrossed in your thoughts? You haven't seen such a big person in front of you." Lu Qingchen touched his head in embarrassment, and asked embarrassingly, "Dean Han, what are you doing here?" Seeing Lu Qingchen's innocent face, Han Meng glared at him angrily. "What do you think I am doing here? I want to help you absorb the soul orb." Lu Qingchen thought it was the tutor of the academy who helped him absorb the soul orbs, but he didn't expect his master to come directly. So he said to the master who stared at him with ice blue eyes, "Then thank Dean Han for coming to help me absorb the soul orb." Lu Qingchen had just left the meeting room a minute ago. Looking at Lu Qingchen's leaving figure, the deans wondered what they were thinking. "It happens to be fine now, let me help him absorb the soul orb." Long Feng laughed at several people. "I happen to be fine, or I will go with the dean, it will be safer." Dean Ku at the side immediately echoed, "Go ahead, I have no objection." Nangong Qianyu smiled slightly, as if she didn't care much about the freshman. "Okay, then I will help him absorb the soul orbs. Hey, where is Han Meng?" Long Feng glanced around and found that there was one person missing in the meeting room at the moment. With a sound of "Pu Kai," Lu Chengfeng and Nangong Qianyu suddenly laughed out loud. At this time, Han Meng and Lu Qingchen had arrived at the training room on the second floor. After closing the door, Han Meng looked at Lu Qingchen with a half smile, and joked, "You were really popular. Several deans almost fought to accept you as an apprentice." Lu Qingchen shrank his head and asked weakly, "Is that an exaggeration, Dean Han?" Han Meng raised her hand and knocked on Lu Qingchen's head, and said seriously, "What Dean Han is called master?" "Master," Lu Qingchen called out following Han Meng's words. Then he couldn't help but say, "Master, aren't you afraid of being heard by them?" Han Meng said with a smile, "Of course I'm afraid, but the sound and breath can be completely cut off here, so don't worry." Lu Qingchen looked at the secret room made of unknown materials in front of him, and nodded. "Of course, after leaving this training room, you still have to call me the dean before the apprenticeship ceremony. Otherwise, if they know that I have accepted you as a disciple in advance, I will definitely find trouble as a teacher." Quote. Seeing Han Meng's pretty face full of seriousness, Lu Qingchen couldn't help pinching her hands. "Well, the touch is soft and delicate, and it feels really good." Han Meng was taken aback by Lu Qingchen's action, but she immediately came to her senses. At this moment, her pair of bright big eyes were full of embarrassment. She gritted her teeth and slowly spit out a few words. "How does it feel, my good disciple?" Just when Lu Qingchen was about to answer seriously, a sharp pain came from his ear. Han Meng's jade hand grabbed Lu Qingchen's ear and pulled it left and right. Because she was very angry, Han Meng didn't show mercy at all, and under the condition of ensuring that Lu Qingchen would not be hurt, she attacked extremely severely. Lu Qingchen grinned his teeth in pain, put away the words that just came to his lips, and shouted loudly, "Master, I was wrong. Dare to dare next time." Hiss, Leiden. Originally intended to punish Lu Qingchen's Han Meng a little, but after hearing Lu Qingchen's words, the attack became more severe. At this moment, Han Meng's pretty face was full of embarrassment, and she grabbed Lu Qingchen's ear and said fiercely, "Let you dare next time, let you dare next time." At the moment, in the conference room on the third floor, there are seniors and several deans who are still inside. It seemed to hear a shrill scream. "Did you hear any strange noises?" Dean Ku asked the surrounding deans with a puzzled expression. The deans all looked strange and did not answer him. Only Long Feng smiled at him and said, "Old Ku, you heard it wrong. Didn't you have a good rest recently? Be more restrained." In the training room at this moment, Lu Qingchen grinned while covering his red ears, while Han Meng smiled triumphantly. "I just pinched my face, isn't it?" Lu Qingchen whispered while rubbing his ears. "What did you say?" He heard Lu Qingchen whispering. Han Meng, who had calmed down just now, was on the verge of going berserk again. No, I didn't say anything. Master, let's start." Lu Qingchen shuddered and quickly changed the subject. HMPH. Seeing Lu Qingchen changing the subject, Han Meng snorted, and then said, "Take out the soul orb, and I will teach you how to absorb it." The storage ring in his hand flashed, and 2 white jade boxes appeared in Lu Qingchen's hands. One green and one blue, the jade box seemed almost unable to cover up the light of these 2 soul orbs. "Absorb one first, and talk about the other later." Han Meng took the green soul bead exuding the breath of life, took a look at it and handed it to Lu Qingchen. "Put the soul orb in the palm of your hand, sit cross-legged and release the martial soul." Lu Qingchen let out a hum, and silently communicated with the jade god Lotus Wuhan. A beautiful jade-colored lotus flower appeared above Lu Qingchen's head, exuding a soft breath. "Stay in this state now, and slowly absorb the power of the soul orb." Han Meng's voice sounded, and Lu Qingchen began to absorb the power of this soul orb. As soon as it was absorbed, the soul orb turned into a green light and penetrated into Lu Qingchen's body. After a while, one of the 7 bright soul sockets of the fortune jade god Lotus suddenly dimmed. As time passed, the dim soul tank gradually emitted a green light, exuding a breath of life. Until the light covered the entire training room. Han Meng looked at the slow green light in the training room, looked a little dazed, and murmured, "The situation is wrong. How could it be possible to absorb soul orbs so quickly?" The light lasted for a minute or so before dissipating. Lu Qingchen looked at the fortune jade god Lotus Wuhan, and found that one of the soul slots had turned green. At the moment, he asked Han Meng, "Master, does this count as a successful absorption?" Han Meng also frowned at this time, and said with some uncertainty, "It should be successful. You try to use the supernatural power contained in the soul orb you just absorbed." It would take a day or 2 for ordinary people to absorb soul beads, but it took less than an hour for Lu Qingchen to absorb them. Absorbing a soul orb so quickly, it's no wonder that Han Meng is a little uncertain. After hearing Master's words, Lu Qingchen closed his eyes. Start to feel the ability that you just absorbed this soul orb with your heart. A few seconds later, a green light shot towards Han Meng. Han Meng's red lips parted slightly, and she made a slight sound. But he reacted immediately, and raised his hand to stop Lu Qingchen's second wave of magical powers. After feeling the state of her body carefully, Han Meng stared at the apprentice in front of her with an unkind expression, curling her lips. "You're lucky this time, this kind of healing skill is too rare." Lu Qingchen smiled, he already knew the magic of this magical power. Without the slightest hesitation, Lu Qingchen took out the second blue soul orb and began to absorb it. "Zhaofeng, after these children have absorbed the soul orbs, you principals will personally teach them for a month." At the moment in the meeting room on the 3rd floor, the one-armed old man said to Long Feng. "Yes, God," Long Feng said respectfully. "This time, the Temple of the Secret Realm trial will also send several successors to participate. Among them, the people of the Temple of Thunder must pay attention. The current Thunder Temple is completely different from the previous Thunder Temple, understand?" "Do you mean the incident that happened a few years ago?" The one-armed old man nodded slightly. "It seems that Monster Academy has become more and more arrogant in recent years. It probably has a lot to do with Thunder Temple." Long Feng's eyes flickered, exuding a hint of danger. "Don't worry about it, you're just a clown. And the good days of Thunder Temple are numbered. I had a vague feeling that that person should be a broken mirror." Quote, "Broken mirror. God, you mean." The one-armed old man known as Tian Lao nodded, showing a hint of expectant smile. "It's so comfortable." Lu Qingchen stretched his waist, he felt refreshed just after absorbing 2 soul beads. Han Meng also looked at the apprentice in front of her in shock at this time. It was the first time she saw a student who absorbed soul orbs so quickly. This student is still her apprentice. Okay, since you have successfully absorbed it, you should go back first. Han Meng waved to Lu Qingchen, signaling him to go back first. Lu Qingchen nodded, stood up and prepared to leave the practice room. As if thinking of something, Lu Qingchen suddenly turned his head and asked Han Meng in front of him. Master, I'm not very familiar with this place, take me for a stroll. Han Meng said angrily, there are still people waiting for you downstairs, ask them to take you shopping. As soon as the voice fell, her figure disappeared. Lu Qingchen scratched his head, and then left the practice room. Outside the small attic, as soon as Lu Qingchen went downstairs, he saw two beauties standing at the door. Sister, I'm fine. Seeing Lu Qingxie waiting for him, Lu Qingchen called out. Hearing the voice, the two turned around. Lu Qingxie asked with some surprise. Xiaochen, have you successfully absorbed the soul orb? Lu Qingchen nodded seriously. That's good. While talking, Lu Qingxie took out a small ice blue shield from the storage ring. Passing this small shield to Lu Qingxie said softly. Xiaochen, the trial in the secret realm in a month's time will be extremely dangerous, so take this little shield. Lu Qingchen took the shield that his sister handed over, put it in his hand and looked at it carefully. This is a defense-type treasure. If you encounter danger, just use your soul power to stimulate it. According to what Lu Qingxie said, Lu Qingchen slowly poured his soul power into the small ice blue shield. In an instant, the small icy blue shield rapidly expanded, releasing a layer of icy blue shield. It completely enveloped Lu Qingchen inside. I see, sister. Putting away the small shield, Lu Qingchen said to the stunning woman in front of him. Lu Qingxie nodded and smiled at him. There is no need to say much about the relationship between the two, and words such as thanks are never said. It will only be hidden in my heart silently. You don't have a weapon yet. Xiao Chen, take this knife and use it first. Seeing that Lu Qingchen had a defense-type treasure, Long Shi took out the long knife that had been used to cut the king-level spirit beast. The overall body of the knife is dark red, and a fierce bird that has never been known is engraved on the handle. As soon as this divine weapon was taken out, it exuded a frightening killing aura. Sister Shi, isn't this your weapon? What will you use after giving it to me? This is for your trial. Remember to return it to me after you use it up. And I need to practice during this time and I won't be able to use it. Seeing that Lu Qingchen was still hesitating, Long Shi stuffed the dark red long knife into Lu Qingchen's hand. Take it, you, go to the secret realm to perform well, and you must protect yourself. Lu Qingchen nodded, and decisively took Long Zai's long knife. As soon as the knife was touched, it trembled instantly, and after a while, it returned to calm. Lu Qingchen glanced at the long knife in his hand, then looked at Long Shi. What did he mean? Long Shi frowned. This was the first time she saw such a situation. Never mind him, as long as it can be used, but this knife is different from the treasure that Xiao Shui gave you. As soon as the voice fell, Lu Qingchen had injected a little soul power into it. Bang! The blade trembled violently, and a bewitching red light radiated out. For a moment, Long Shi and Lu Qingxie were stunned. After stopping the injection of soul power, the dark red long knife returned to its original appearance. After a few seconds of silence, Lu Qingxie asked in surprise. Xiao Shi, you are not the only one with this knife. Long Shi shook his head with a complex expression. I'm not too sure what's going on, but it would be better if Xiaochen can completely control it. Seeing that she didn't know, Lu Qingxie didn't ask any more questions. What she said made sense. It would be even better if she could fully control it. Put it away. Hearing Long Zai's voice, Lu Qingchen quickly put the murderous knife into the storage ring. In the few seconds when the blade glowed red just now, Lu Qingchen felt his soul power was rapidly passing away. Go back and think about it slowly, Lu Qingchen thought to himself. Xiaochen, you are not familiar with the inner courtyard just now. Do you want me and Xiaoxi to take you to get acquainted? Okay, Lu Qingchen agreed. It happened that he didn't know where he was going, so it would be great to have Lu Qingxie and Long Shi take him to familiarize himself with the environment. The inner courtyard is not too complicated. Except for some independent courtyards, there are only practice rooms. The small attic we entered just now is called Tiansheng Pavilion, where the seniors of the academy are located. Quote. Lu Qingxie slowly introduced to Lu Qingchen while walking. The only students who can enter the Tiansheng Pavilion so far are only 5 of you freshmen, and it is also the first time for us to enter. Long Shi said with a smile. Is that so? What are the conditions for entering the Heavenly Sacred Pavilion? As someone who entered the Tiansheng Pavilion as soon as he came to the inner courtyard, Lu Qingchen was a little puzzled. Of course there are conditions. Except for the students who have made great contributions to the academy. The 5 of you are probably able to go in because this trial of the secret realm is very important, so important that rewards will be given to you in advance. Quote. Long Shi spread out his hands with a helpless expression. Otherwise, do you think that you will be rewarded with soul orbs for passing a simple freshman trial? Long Zai's words made Lu Qingchen feel the difficulty of this secret trial. Xiaoxi is right, soul orbs are indeed extremely precious, you must be careful with this trip to the secret realm. It was rare for Lu Qingshui's voice to become serious. Sister, I know, don't worry. Several people came to a huge stone tablet. Lu Qingchen raised his head and looked towards the top of the stone tablet. On this stone tablet, there are 5 golden characters shining. Wagwo Tianjiao list. Wagwo Tianjiao list. Lu Qingchen looked at the 5 characters on the top of the stone tablet, and couldn't help muttering to himself. This is the list made by the temple. The list gathers all the young and powerful people in Wagwo who have reached the martial sovereign realm. All the young warriors in Wagwo yearn for one day to be on the list. Then what's the benefit of being on the list? Lu Qingchen asked suspiciously. If it's just for honor without any real benefits, Lu Qingchen feels that this list of the top talents is not very important. Of course there are benefits, but we don't know it. It is said that every 5 years the young Tianjiao on the list will enter a mysterious place, and it is said that there are countless opportunities in that place. Quote. As long as you are lucky and get some chances, you can fly to the sky casually. Long Shi said very excitedly, as if her name had already been listed on Wagwo Tianjiao list. Lu Qingchen looked at the agitated Long Shi with a half smile, and asked with a smile. Sister Shi, why didn't I see your name on the list? Lu Qingchen's words seemed to pour cold water on Long Zai's head. Her complexion, which was still excited just now, collapsed in an instant. Waving his fist at Lu Qingchen, Long Shi said viciously. Who said I wasn't on the list? My name will definitely be on the list in a few months. Just don't be envious when the time comes. Lu Qingchen curled his lips, with a look of disbelief. Hearing the conversation between the two, Lu Qingshe smiled helplessly. Let's go up there and have a look. Lu Qingshe pointed to the 3 buildings towering above the clouds, and said to the 2 of them. Lu Qingchen looked up, and there were 2 great halls sitting in the clouds, and there was a huge tower piercing into the sky. The crimson wings spread, and Lu Qingchen followed behind the 2 women, and flew to the hall standing above the clouds in the air. The 3 of them came to the first hall, only to see that there were only 3 large characters on the door plate of the hall. Library Pavilion. After entering the Zangshu Pavilion, Lu Qingchen found that there were many ancient books in this hall, as well as many jade tubes and some letters. Kangshu Pavilion is divided into 5 floors. The first floor contains some ancient books and materials. There are many anecdotes and strange things recorded on it, as well as some cultivation handbooks. Quote. The second layer stores the martial arts, combat skills and supernatural powers required by the martial realm. Only kings and emperors can enter the 3rd and 4th floors, and I don't know anything about it. Quote. Lu Qingshe patiently said to Lu Qingchen, she told everything she knew. Lu Qingchen walked into the 1st floor and flipped through some ancient books, which recorded various treasures of heaven and earth and their functions. Open another book, most of which are introductions of magic weapons. Just when Lu Qingchen was about to walk out of the hall, an ancient book with a list of strange things in the world attracted his attention. Picking up this ancient book, Lu Qingchen slowly opened it, and began to read page by page. Throughout the ages, countless treasures of heaven and earth have been born in the world, and only extremely rare things can be listed on the list of strange things. After reading the introduction, Lu Qingchen turned to the 2nd page. A few large characters were impressively reflected in Lu Qingchen's eyes. Top 10 God-level Soul Seed Rankings. Chapter 71. Lu Qingchen then looked down and found a line of small characters below. Note: God-level soul seeds are each born from heaven and earth, unique, and there will not be 2 identical God species at the same time. Number 1 on the God seed list, Immortal God Seed. Throughout the ages, the top 10 gods are like the great sun in the sky, shaking the world, and among them, the immortal gods are the most respected. It is rumored that those who obtain the God Seed of immortality will have an infinite lifespan, and the heavens will be indestructible and people will be indestructible. The inheritor of the immortal seed, unknown. What an immortal god. Lu Qingshan's eyes were serious, he didn't expect a God Seed to have such a crazy effect. Eternal life, is this the ultimate pursuit of countless warriors? Shaking his head and calming down, Lu Qingshan continued to look at the next one. Second place on the list of gods, the ancient species of killing the sky. An extremely mysterious soul seed, it is rumored in ancient books that it is the ultimate demon seed, ranking first in attack throughout the ages, bar none. Hundreds of thousands of years ago, the inheritors of the ancient sect of killing the sky were born, and countless powerful sects of the orthodox sect besieged and suppressed them. In the end, a very heavy price was paid, and 9 heavenly venerables fell in that battle, and only then did they seal the inheritors of the Tianzhou ancient seed. On that day, blood flowed into rivers, heaven wept, all things wailed, and the entire cultivation world trembled. The inheritor of the ancient species of killing the sky, the devil emperor of killing the sky, the only person in ancient and modern times who is called emperor by Jiyu Zunshou. Seeing this, Lu Qingshan let out a breath slowly. What a god-seated ranking second, even in the name of killing the sky. If it weren't for the particularity of the immortal god species, this species would be ranked number 1. Thinking of this, Lu Qingshan became more and more looking forward to his god seed. God Seed ranking 3rd, Chaos God Seed. One of the strongest gods recognized in the comprehension world. It is rumored that the inheritor of the Chaos God Seed must be the Chaos God Physique, which ranks among the top 3 physiques in all heavens and myriad realms. This physique is extremely powerful, sweeping the heavens, and the last inheritor of the Chaos God Seed was the Tianzhou who swept away all races and proved the heavenly venerable. Inheritor of Chaos God Seed, Chaos Heavenly Venerable. God Seed ranking 4th, Devouring God Seed. Possessing extremely powerful devouring power, the inheritor can possess the ability of multiple God Seeds at the same time, and the speed of cultivation of the inheritors of the God Seed is the fastest in ancient and modern times. Inheritor of the Devouring God Seed, Devouring Demon Lord. God Seed ranking 5th, Reincarnation God Seed. Reincarnation God Seed Inheritor, unknown. After seeing the 9th place on the God Seed list, Lu Qingshan finally saw the ranking of the Fen Tian God Seed that he had. 9th on the list of gods, Burning God, one of the 5 elements, tied for 9th with the other 4. The strongest God Seed in the Tao of Fire, it is rumored that the inheritors of the Fenshan God Seed can burn mountains and seas, and burn up everything. Inheritor of the Burning God Seed, Ancient Zun of the Eastern Emperor. 9th on the God Seed list. Lu Qingshan murmured that he couldn't believe that the soul seed rewarded by the system turned out to be one of the top 10 God Seeds. You must not let anyone know, otherwise you will never be able to keep this God Seed, and even your own life will be in danger. Lu Qingshan's eyes were dignified. This is the treasure of heaven and earth, completely different from his own talent. This kind of treasure of heaven and earth is unowned and can be snatched. Thinking of this, Lu Qingshan continued to look through with a heavy heart. Divine Seed Inheritance Method. Same as the Soul Orb, except that the inheritance time of the soul seed is longer. Note: a person can only absorb one soul seed, and cannot have multiple soul seeds at the same time. The Supreme Martial Soul Owner can inherit more than one soul seed. Seeing this, Lu Qingshan wished he could leave the hall immediately and absorb the Burning God Seed. It's just that after reading this ancient book, he was a little uncertain. This God Seed is too precious. He didn't know what would happen if the Academy found out. Shaking his head, Lu Qingshan dismissed the idea of absorbing soul seeds in the Academy. Lu Qingshe and Long Shi saw that Lu Qingshan was reading an ancient book solemnly and shook his head, occasionally very seriously. So he asked curiously, "Shaochen, what are you looking at, so serious?" Seeing her sister asking, Lu Qingshan handed her the ancient book in his hand. After Lu Qingshe turned a few pages, Long Shi took it over. After reading it, Long Shi curled his lips and said, "I haven't seen any god species, but I heard that Curry, the college's hidden treasure, seems to have several soul species. Didn't the seniors and deans of the academy absorb soul seeds?" Lu Qingchen asked in surprise. I'm not very clear about those seniors, but none of the deans have absorbed them. Because each soul species can only absorb one, maybe they haven't decided yet. Quote. Long Shi shared what he knew with the two without hesitation. Actually, it's not that the principals didn't make a decision. I heard from Master before that absorbing soul seeds is a very important thing. Not everyone can directly absorb soul seeds. For example, let a fire attribute martial soul owner absorb water attribute soul seeds. If the attribute is wrong, there is a high probability that the absorption will fail. The Academy has only a few soul seeds accumulated over the years. Furthermore, these soul seeds possessed by the Academy are said to have special attributes, which are not suitable for the deans to absorb. As soon as Long Shi finished speaking, Lu Qingxie also shared what she knew. For them, the two people in front of them are their own people, and there is nothing they cannot say. Seeing Lu Qingxie and Long Shi sharing what they knew with him so frankly, Lu Qingchen felt a little warm in his heart. After all, these things are some secrets, and it is because of the special identities of Lu Qingxie and Long Shi that they know these things. Thinking of this, Lu Qingchen turned his head and asked the two women. Sister Shi, haven't you absorbed soul seeds yet? Hearing Lu Qingchen's words, both of them smiled helplessly. Long Shi glared at Lu Qingchen angrily. You thought the soul seed was a Chinese cabbage, but this is a soul seed. Soul beads are so rare. I don't know how many years have passed since the Academy was founded. I heard my dad say it before. After so many years of accumulation in the college's treasure house, the total number of soul seeds has never exceeded single digits. Quote. And even if there are soul seeds, the higher-ups of the Academy will use them first. Where can it be our turn? Having said this, Long Zai's face collapsed, and he couldn't help sighing. Seeing Long Zai's reaction like this, Lu Qingxie looked very calm. It's just that he spread his hands helplessly towards Lu Qingchen. Xiaoxi is right, soul seeds are not something as students can get. As far as I know, only one former student who has made great contributions to the Academy has ever been rewarded with a soul seed. Quote. And this soul seed was obtained by him in a secret trial, and he voluntarily handed over the extra soul seed to the Academy. The Academy did not disappoint him either, giving him unprecedented rewards and providing him with the resources he needed for cultivation for life. Quote. When mentioning the secret realm, Lu Qingxie and Long Shi seemed to have thought of something, and then recalled what Lu Qingchen said to them just now. The two looked at each other silently, and at the same time looked at the handsome young man in front of them. You don't mean to. Couldn't you want to compete for soul seeds in this secret realm? Seeing the surprised tone of the two women, Lu Qingchen shrugged and said helplessly. Isn't it okay? The dean and the others said that the secret realm this time has not been explored yet. These words immediately made Lu Qingxie and Long Shi speechless, but after thinking about it carefully, what Lu Qingchen said seemed to be correct. After all, the dean and the others really said that this secret realm is a secret realm that has never been explored. It is said that there is an opportunity in the secret realm for the top soul fighters in China to break through. So logically speaking, there is indeed a great possibility that soul species will appear in the secret realm. But if a soul species appeared, it would inevitably attract countless people to fight for it. Thinking of this, Lu Qingxie couldn't help feeling a little worried. Xiaochen, or forget it, and try to avoid conflicts with other forces in the secret realm. If you can get chance and treasures, take them if you can. If your life is in danger, don't. At this moment, Lu Qingxie began to worry. As a martial realm soul warrior, she certainly knew the cruelty of martial arts. But now, as Lu Qingchen's older sister, she just hoped that Lu Qingchen would be safe and sound, and she would rather bear those dangers by herself. Sister, I know, but since I have embarked on this path, I will not give up. When I came to the Academy, my parents' letter also said that warriors must strive, otherwise they will never reach the top. Therefore, some conflicts are unavoidable. Since it is unavoidable, then use strength to speak. Hearing the thoughts in his younger brother's heart, Lu Qingxie knew that he would not be able to persuade Lu Qingchen. So he stared at Lu Qingchen seriously, and said softly, Since you have said so yourself, then I won't persuade you, but you have to be careful in everything. If possible, go find Yushan and the others after entering the secret realm. One more person is better than being alone. Don't worry, Sister, I won't do anything I'm not sure about. Unless it is absolutely necessary, I will try my best to avoid conflicts with other people. Quote. Seeing Lu Qingshui's serious tone, Lu Qingchen nodded to show that he knew, and signaled her to rest assured. Long Shi at the side rolled his eyes, looking at the pair of siblings in front of him speechlessly. Curling his lips, Long Shi said slowly, Okay Xiaoshui, it's not like you didn't see his performance last time, even the core students at the Earth Martial Realm are no match for him. It's a good thing that he didn't beat others to death when he entered the secret realm. You are still worried that his life is in danger. I really don't know what to say to you. After Long Zai's words, Lu Qingshe completely woke up. That's right, even the core students of the Earth Martial Realm in the second year are not his opponents, let alone those who are in the Spirit Martial Realm. Thinking of this, Lu Qingshe no longer struggled with this matter. Since Zangshu Pavilion has been visited, I will take you to see Fenghuang Palace and Tongtian Tower. Long Shi said excitedly, as if he was very interested in those two places. I took an ancient book that recorded various treasures of heaven and earth and an ancient book that recorded the gods and soldiers of heaven and earth. Lu Qingchen asked them, can I take these two books home to read? With the help of Lu Qingshe and Long Shi, Lu Qingchen filled in his name and the ancient books he took at the registration office. As soon as he walked out of Zangshu Pavilion, Long Shi took the hands of the two of them and hurriedly ran towards the tower. This pagoda is extremely majestic, piercing into the sky, and everyone standing in this place can't even see the top of the pagoda. This tower is called the Tongtian Tower, and it appeared here before the Heavenly Tao Holy Court was established. No one knows what the tower was for, or how tall it was. Hearing what Long Shi said, Lu Qingchen walked slowly in front of the Tongtian Pagoda, and touched this simple and vicissitude-looking building with his hands. It feels rough to the touch, as if carved out of rock, but there is a cool feeling coming. Looking at the Tongtian Pagoda piercing into the sky in front of him, Lu Qingchen felt a little throbbing in his heart. I heard from the dean that there is a huge opportunity in this tower, but it has not been opened before the time comes. Lu Qingshe added from the side. The few people ignored the tower and were about to leave when suddenly a rumbling sound came. The Heavenly Ancestor Secret Realm will open in 10 days, and the Heavenly Tao Holy Academy can select 5 students from the Spiritual Martial Realm to participate. Hearing the voice, several people quickly turned their heads to look in the direction of the voice. I saw an old man standing impressively above the clouds. Thank you, Lord Tianyang, for telling me that the Heavenly Tao Holy Academy has known about it, and will lead the students to the secret realm in 10 days. At this moment, Long Feng had already appeared, and responded to the old man on the cloud. This trip to the secret realm is extremely dangerous. After entering, life and death are at stake. Dean Long, please be prepared. Seeing that Long Feng came out to respond, the old man called Tianyang Palace Master reminded him slightly. Thank you, Senior Tianyang, for letting me know. Long Feng will go to the Temple of the Sun to visit Senior when I have time. Seeing that Long Feng already knew, the old man waved his sleeves, and his figure slowly disappeared from the clouds. Lu Qingchen and the others heard the old man's voice very clearly, and knew the purpose of the Tianyang Palace Master almost instantly. The secret realm is extremely dangerous. Dean Long, please get ready. These few sentences clearly convey the meaning. Lu Qingchen guessed that this old man was definitely related to Tiandao Holy Academy, otherwise he would never have said the latter sentence. At this moment, Long Feng has returned to the conference room on the 3rd floor of Tiansheng Pavilion. Not only him, everyone was here, and everyone heard the old man's voice. Long Feng frowned, and said to everyone, the master of Tianyang Hall personally came to tell you that this trial in the secret realm might be extremely dangerous. What do you guys think? Everyone understood what he meant. Long Feng wanted to change the person who entered the secret realm. At this moment, a senior from the Heavenly Tao Holy Academy said, I don't think it's necessary to temporarily change the candidates. It's good to let those little guys practice for a while. The academy will give them treasures for self-defense. Otherwise, it's better to change candidates. After all, they have just entered school, and they are not as good as second-year students in many places. Hearing what the senior said, Han Meng immediately expressed her opinion. The master of Tianyang Palace has come to notify in person, how dangerous it is naturally indescribable, her precious apprentice is still among those 5 people. And the status of the students this time is not easy. Mu Ningyu is the daughter of the head of the investigation department, and Murong Qingqing is from the holy city of life. Lu Chengfeng also looked solemn at the moment. If they were in danger, it would be no small matter. P.S. Some friends don't understand the difference between soul beads and soul seeds, so I will briefly explain them here. Soul orbs. Soul orbs can be dropped by killing spirit beasts. Each soul warrior's martial soul can be inlaid with soul orbs corresponding to the number of soul slots, and a magical power will be randomly obtained. Soul seed. Each soul seed is unique, and it may be dropped only by being born from heaven and earth or by killing holy beasts above the holy realm. Moreover, everyone can only absorb one soul seed, and after absorbing it, they will randomly get some abilities, including supernatural powers, physique, skills, attributes, etc. Except for the inheritor of the devouring god seed, only the owner of the supreme martial soul can inlay an additional soul seed. Hearing what Lu Chengfeng said, several of them frowned, which was also a big problem. The investigation department, like the military department, has power all over Wagwo, and it is with their support that the God of War Academy is able to rank among the 3 famous schools. The holy city of life is even more terrifying. It is a terrifying existence comparable to the 3 famous schools. And everyone is a little sensitive to the surname, Murong. I heard that the surname of the current city lord of the holy city of life is Murong. Dean Ku on the side also said in a deep voice at this time. It doesn't matter who the other forces are involved this time, I have a lot of faith in these kids. But what I'm worried about is that this secret realm is too dangerous. Quote, apart from knowing that this is a secret realm that has not been explored and that only warriors of the spiritual martial realm can enter, there is no other news. After hearing what Dean Ku said, everyone frowned even deeper. Seeing the reaction of the crowd, this Dean Ku hit the rails while it was hot. Furthermore, these freshmen are quite talented, and Lu Qingqin and Murong Qingqing even have twin martial souls. Even if you don't enter this secret realm, your future achievements will be quite terrifying. Quote, several of them even nodded slightly, thinking that what Dean Ku said made sense. At this moment, the 3 of Lu Qingqin had already come out of Zangshu Pavilion. Hearing what the Tianyang Palace Master said just now, the few people no longer have the intention to familiarize themselves with the inner courtyard. Sister, I'm going to the practice room first. After a few seconds of silence, Lu Qingqin said to Lu Qingshe. Lu Qingshe opened her mouth, as if she wanted to say something, but she still didn't say it. Without saying anything more, Lu Qingqin turned around and walked towards the practice room. He knew that Lu Qingshe was worried about him, and he knew how dangerous the secret realm was from the words of the Tianyang Palace Master just now. After Lu Qingqin walked away, Lu Qingshe came back to his senses. Seeing Lu Qingshui's appearance, Long Shi said disapprovingly. Okay, don't worry too much, this kid is smart. And now he has all the treasures for attack and defense, he can fight even if it is above earth martial arts. Seeing that Lu Qingshe was still frowning, Long Shi couldn't help but whispered something in her ear. After listening to what Long Shi said, Lu Qingshe asked full of doubts. Xiao Shi, is what you said true? Of course, you just wait for the good news from them. Shouldn't it be time for us to practice? Long Shi tilted his head and looked at Lu Qingshe seriously. Lu Qingshe smiled at her, and then the 2 of them also turned into a stream of light and left. After coming to the practice room, Lu Qingshe shook his head and didn't think about those things again. After carefully feeling the environment of the training room, he found that the aura was extremely strong. The training room in the inner courtyard must be at least dozens of times denser than the core area of the outer courtyard. I don't know how many spiritual veins are under this training room. Thinking in his heart, Lu Qingshe began to practice his exercises. After a day-long discussion, the Tiansheng Pavilion meeting room was silent at this time. Since everyone has different opinions, let's vote. If you agree to change the students in this secret trial, please vote. As soon as Long Feng finished speaking, Han Meng immediately agreed. Immediately afterwards, Lu Chengfeng and the Dean Ku also raised their hands. After several seniors from the academy looked at each other, 2 of them also agreed one after another. 5 votes. Looking at the results of the vote in front of her, Han Meng couldn't believe it. Long Feng, who put forward this opinion, did not agree. Very well, since only 5 people agree, let's end this meeting. No, I don't agree. Just when everyone thought the meeting was over, Han Meng suddenly said loudly. I don't agree to let these 5 students go to the secret realm. The secret realm is dangerous, and we can't make fun of their lives. At this time, Han Meng was suddenly agitated, and said loudly to everyone. I support what Dean Han said. This time the student status is too special, and Lu Qingchen even possesses the highest martial spirit. If these few students are lost because of this secret realm, it will be the biggest loss for the academy. Quote. At this moment, Lu Chengfeng also agreed, and his tone was extremely serious. Besides, as the top soul warrior in China, I think you all know how terrifying it will be after the supreme martial soul breaks through to the king. After listening to Lu Chengfeng's words, the other 2 seniors from the academy also nodded slightly. They are well aware of the horror of the supreme martial soul. Once you break through to the realm of kings, and the horror of the supreme law, you can definitely surpass a big realm to challenge the emperor. What's more, Lu Qingchen still has twin martial souls. Thinking of this, the other 2 seniors from the academy slowly raised their hands in agreement. Seeing that 2 more seniors agreed, a hint of surprise flashed in Han Meng's eyes. But the surprise lasted only for a moment, and was interrupted by a majestic voice the next moment. The candidates for this secret trial will remain the same, so you don't need to discuss any more. The one-eyed old man sitting in the innermost part said slowly. In the training room at this moment, the surrounding extremely rich spiritual power is being absorbed. Lu Qingchen only felt that the total amount of his soul power was rising steadily, and he was about to break through. After absorbing the 2 soul orbs, Lu Qingchen actually felt that the next breakthrough was not far away. At this moment, the 3 martial spirits frantically absorbed the rich spiritual power in the training room, which lasted for about a quarter of an hour. Lu Qingchen was shocked. He knew that he had reached the 8th level of the spiritual martial realm. With a thought, open the information panel. Host, Lu Qingchen. Martial Soul. Sun Golden Crow, Golden Emperor Dragon, Fortune Jade God Lotus. Realm, Eightfold Awakening Realm. Spiritual Power, Bright Moon Level 7. Cultivation Methods. Burning the Holy Code, the Immortal Body of the Emperor Dragon, and the Good Fortune Jade Pure Heart Sutra. Supernatural Powers Holy Healing Golden Holy Pupils Washing Away All Lead. Avatar Not Activated. Items. Dongguang Bell, Xiaohaohua Pill 1, Burning God Seed, Star Refining Cauldron, Soul Stone 10,100. Glancing at the attribute panel, Lu Qingchen found that he had 2 extra supernatural powers. It should be the supernatural power contained in those 2 soul orbs. Lu Qingchen knew in his heart that the holy healing supernatural power had been used on his master before. As for the supernatural power of washing away the lead, Lu Qingchen is not very clear. So his eyes looked carefully at this supernatural power, and a row of small characters appeared after a while. Washing away all lead. Auxiliary supernatural powers, which can shield all of one's breath after use, making it difficult for people to detect. Seeing this supernatural power introduction, Lu Qingchen's eyes lit up. This is a good thing. This is simply killing people and seizing treasures, a peerless magical power necessary for Yin people. I heard from the above that all the students participating in the trial of the secret realm this time are students from the Lingwu realm. As long as you are within 10 meters, with your own speed and strength, you can kill your opponent in an instant. Lu Qingchen, who absorbed 2 soul orbs and broke through to the 8th level of Lingwu, was extremely confident in his own strength. Compared to the worries of Lu Qingxie and the rest of the academy, Lu Qingchen was looking forward to this secret trial. Lu Qingchen, who possesses 2 supreme martial souls, has never encountered an opponent in the same realm until now. After hearing Long Feng say that people from the 3 famous schools and the temple would also participate, Lu Qingchen was already looking forward to it. As for promising her sister Lu Qingxie not to conflict with others, that was purely to comfort Lu Qingxie. As long as he sees the opportunities in this secret trial, he will not let them go. Taking a deep breath, Lu Qingchen looked at the flashing red task. Before breaking through the next big realm, give the Ice Phoenix Sealing Heaven Code to your first master to unlock the malfunction. Lu Qingchen didn't give this exercise book to Han Meng before, mainly because he didn't know how to explain where he got it from. But it's different now. After the trial of the secret realm is over, there will be sufficient reasons to hand over this immortal level exercise to the beautiful master. Although Lu Qingchen didn't know which level the immortal grade Kung Fu was, he could guess it based on the name. It is definitely better than Han Meng's self-cultivation. The system's products must be high-quality products. Thinking of this, Lu Qingchen immediately got up and left the quiet practice room. The candidates for this secret trial will remain the same, so you don't need to discuss any more. The one-eyed old man sitting at the innermost part of the round table said in an unquestionable tone. As soon as the voice fell, the entire conference room fell silent in an instant. Like the one-armed old man, this one-eyed old man is one of the most powerful persons in the Heavenly Tao Holy Academy. Everyone who didn't agree just now was silent at the moment, and Han Meng couldn't help feeling a little discouraged. But considering the safety of her apprentice, Han Meng said stubbornly. Anyway, I won't agree. No matter what, these freshmen can't go to this secret trial. Seniors, you can't let these freshmen go to the secret realm just because the college lacks holy level exercises, and take the risk of uncertainty to fight for opportunities for us. Quote. Han Meng's words left everyone speechless at the moment. Even Long Feng lowered his head slightly with a blushing face. What Han Meng said was not wrong at all. Apart from wanting to train these freshmen, the seniors present and the deans also had their own selfish motives. The vast majority of people present, their cultivation realms have improved extremely slowly, because of the lack of advanced exercises. Except for Tian Lao, who was about to step into that realm, even the old man who spoke just now was only slightly approaching that realm. As for the other 4 seniors and several other deans, there is still a distance from the Holy Land. If Lu Qingchen and the other 5 freshmen can get the holy level or higher skills in the secret realm this time, the strength of Tao Holy Academy will have an unprecedented improvement that day. This is also one of the reasons why the one-eyed old man disapproved of exchanging students from the secret realm. But Han Meng doesn't want to let the apprentice she just accepted take risks. After listening to what Han Meng said, the one-armed old man at the back of the round table didn't care, but smiled slightly. You girl, if you care about it, you will be in chaos. First of all, let's not talk about anything else. The academy will definitely do its best to protect their safety. Besides, none of the 5 of them are in the general spiritual realm. I can tell that these children definitely have hidden means. Besides, the descendants of the other 2 famous schools and several great temples will go to the secret realm this time. Didn't they consider this issue? Hearing what Tian Lao said, Han Meng also slowly calmed down at this time. That's right, other forces sent top talents to participate. Didn't they consider the danger of the secret realm? At this time, the one-armed old man continued. It is difficult for a student to grow up without experiencing countless fights and blood. I think everyone should be very clear. After listening to Tian Lao's analysis, everyone nodded in agreement. The one-armed old man in front of him is right. He has not experienced the baptism of wind and rain. After all, he is just a flower in the greenhouse. And the flowers in the greenhouse are often the easiest to die young. And don't think us old guys are selfish. It is of course the best result for these children to compete for the holy level exercises. After all, holy level exercises are of great use to us old fellows as well as to you. Quote. Glancing at the silent crowd, Tian Lao said in a deep voice. But the Heavenly Tao Holy Academy is not reduced to put all the pressure on these children. Even if you don't get the holy level exercises, so what? The Heavenly Tao Holy Academy is still fearless. Quote. I just hope that these children can gain something after going through the wind and rain during this trip to the secret place. Han Meng's face was slightly red when he heard these words, and he said to the old men on the round table in an apologetic voice. It's because Han Meng's knowledge is shallow, so please don't take it to heart, seniors. Several old men waved their hands, indicating that they didn't care. One of the burly old men said gently, Xiaohan, what you said is actually not bad. We old guys do have some selfishness. But it's not that he wants to obtain holy level exercises, but that he wants to watch these 5 children grow up with his own eyes. Quote. Hearing what the burly old man said, Han Meng's face turned even redder. The old men on the round table looked at each other and laughed loudly. In a magnificent hall, an old man was explaining something to a young man. Xiaohang, don't be arrogant when you go to the secret realm for trials this time. It's best to find the students of the Monster Academy as soon as you enter the secret realm. A person's power is limited after all. The old man said to the cold and proud young man in front of him. I understand. How many times have you said it? This time only the successors of the other two temples are qualified to be my opponents, the others are not worthy. Quote. Seeing such a proud young man in front of him, the old man shook his head helplessly. Wagwo Military Department. A dashing woman and a burly man are drinking. The burly man laughed while drinking. I said, Mu Ru, that girl Xiaoyu is about to go to the secret realm, don't you worry about her. Don't that kid Hongtian also want to enter the secret realm? I didn't see you worrying about being an old man. Hearing what this burly man said, Mu Ru also fought back mercilessly. Ha 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 ha. Hearing the words of the heroic woman in front of him, the burly man burst out laughing. That boy Hongtian is sure to win this secret trial. The man said with pride on his face. Some friends are not clear about the level of spiritual power and soul orbs, so the author will explain them in detail here. The early stage of spiritual power is divided into stars, bright moons, and suns, which correspond to Lingwu, Dewu, and Tianwu respectively. The following words correspond to the realm of martial arts. The levels of soul orbs are divided into spirit level, earth level, heaven level, honor level, and king level. In order for the friends to remember clearly, it also corresponds to the realm of martial arts. In addition, the highest level of soul beads is only king level. At this moment, all the forces have also received the notice from the temple, and they agreed to meet at the entrance of the secret realm 10 days later. For a while, the situation seemed tense. Just as Lu Qingchen walked out of the training room, he saw a slender woman in a veil waving to him. Lu Qingchen, you are the only one missing here. There was a crisp sound like pearls falling on a jade plate, and Lu Qingchen could accurately tell that it was Nangong Qianyu's voice. So he trotted over quickly, and asked the stunning Dean. Dean, do you have anything to do with me? Since this Dean Nangong is the master of his elder sister Lu Qingchen respects her very much. Eyebrows curved, Nangong Qianyu's big eyes blinked at Lu Qingchen. A clear and pleasant voice sounded. There are still 10 days before the secret realm will open, and the academy has decided to conduct some special training for the 5 of you. Hearing what Nangong Qianyu said, Lu Qingchen nodded thoughtfully. It seems that the secret realm is really important this time, the academy even specially trained 5 of them. It was the dean who came to inform me, it seems that this training is not easy. Just when Lu Qingchen was thinking, Nangong Qianyu's words disrupted his thoughts in an instant. Lu Qingchen, do you think I look good? What? Hearing Nangong Qianyu's words, Lu Qingchen turned pale with fright, and almost didn't react for a while. Nangong Qianyu stared at him seriously. Of course it looks good. Sensing the gaze cast by the beautiful Dean, Lu Qingchen stammered. Oh, really? Nangong Qianyu was satisfied with this answer, then turned around and asked again. Then who looks better, Han Meng or I? Boom, Lu Qingchen only felt a roar in his brain. God, what kind of fairy question is this? Just like when your girlfriend in the previous life asked you who you would save first when she and your mother fell into the water at the same time, how would you answer? Lu Qingchen couldn't be more clear in his heart, he must not dare to answer this question. Ah, Dean, what are you talking about? I was distracted just now. Seeing Lu Qingchen pretending not to hear clearly, Nangong Qianyu stared at him with a smile. Then I repeated what I just said. Now Lu Qingchen knew that he couldn't escape, so he could only bite the bullet and say. I think. The 2 principals are both peerless and beautiful, just like fairies in the sky. Seeing Nangong Qianyu's beautiful eyes still staring at him, Lu Qingchen was lost. So he forced out a smile and said to the dean. Dean Nangong and Dean Han are both very good looking, each with its own characteristics. Hearing this answer, Nangong Qianyu looked away, but the half-smile expression on Chao's face still couldn't hide it. After walking a few more steps, they came to a spacious training ground, where Han Meng and 4 other freshmen stood impressively. Nangong Qianyu walked in the direction of Han Meng gracefully, Lu Qingchen could only bite the bullet and follow behind Nangong Qianyu. At this time, the other 4 freshmen gloated and looked at Lu Qingchen who was following behind Nangong Qianyu. Walking all the way to Han Meng, Nangong Qianyu said with a smile. Dean Han, I brought you here, this little guy is quite interesting, hee. Nangong Qianyu covered her mouth while talking, her smile trembled wildly. However, there was no change on Han Meng's face, but she replied blankly. Then thank you Dean Nangong. Lu Qingchen, return to the team. Under Han Meng's gaze, Lu Qingchen bit the bullet and walked out from behind Nangong Qianyu. He hurriedly ran towards the other 4 people on the field. Since the person has been brought here, Dean Nangong should go back first. With Lu Qingchen returning to the team, Han Meng also issued an order to expel Nangong Qianyu. Well, I hope Dean Han will cherish these 3 days, and I will come back on time after 3 days. Nangong Qianyu said to Han Meng with a smile, and the 2 deans looked at each other. Lu Qingchen only felt a burst of intense sparks flashing in the void, and couldn't help shivering. After the 2 stunning women looked at each other for 2 seconds, Nangong Qianyu chuckled, and his figure gradually disappeared. Seeing the dean of Nangong leave, Han Meng's brows relaxed. At this moment, except for Lu Qingchen who lowered his head, the others looked at her expectantly. Speechlessly glanced at Lu Qingchen, Han Meng said to everyone. 10 days later, you will go to the Tianzu secret realm to participate in the trial. Because of the particularity of this secret realm, the academy has specially arranged some training for you. Quote. Hearing Han Meng's words, everyone cheered up, and Lu Qingchen raised his head that had been lowered just now. Seeing everyone's reaction, Han Meng continued. A total of 3 special trainings have been arranged for you, and several deans and mentors will guide you to complete them. Several principals are dedicated to instructing the training. It seems that the 10-day training is not easy. Everyone thought in their hearts, but they didn't panic at all. They were very confident in their own strength. However, I have some bad news to tell you. If anyone fails this training, then don't even think about going to the secret realm. This sentence caused the expressions of the other 4 people to change slightly. No one knew what the training was about. No one is sure about changing the content. If they are asked to challenge a Tianwu, it will be fine. In fact, the academy has already decided who will participate in the secret trial. What Han Meng said at this moment was just to make these 5 people feel a sense of crisis, so that they would be more serious in training. As the 5 students with the highest talent and the strongest strength in this class, the little thoughts in their hearts were fully guessed by the seniors of the academy. What should be said has already been said. Han Meng didn't say any more, and directly talked about the content of the assessment. Now go to the arms pavilion to choose weapons by yourself. Having a suitable weapon in the secret realm is quite useful. Come back after you have chosen, I am here waiting for you. Quote. Hearing what Han Meng said, except for Lu Qingchen, the other 4 were all at a loss. They had just absorbed the soul orbs, so they didn't know where the academy's weapon pavilion was. Seeing Lu Qingchen running towards a certain direction alone, Han Meng pointed to a certain direction and said to several people speechlessly. You can see it if you walk in that direction. If you can't find it, just follow Lu Qingchen. As soon as the voice fell, several people rushed out. Looking at the 5 freshmen, Han Meng shook her head amusedly. After a while, several people followed Lu Qingchen to a small black attic. The door plate of the small attic reads, Weapon Pavilion, in 3 large characters. Lu Qingchen looked at the 3 large characters in front of him and took a deep breath. He walked towards the small black attic with big strides. Seeing Lu Qingchen walk into the weapon pavilion, several other people quickly followed. Brother Chen, what's going on with you and the 2 principals? Yu Shan followed closely behind Lu Qingchen, and asked with a silly smile. When the other 3 heard what Yu Shan said, they all pricked up their ears and listened seriously. They are also very curious about the matters related to the 2 deans. Lu Qingchen glared at him, and said angrily, What else can happen? That's it. Hearing this answer, everyone couldn't help feeling a little disappointed. At this time, Murong Qingqing's faint voice came. The 2 deans almost got into a fight. It's not easy. Seeing that the 4 people were all looking at him, Lu Qingchen quickly argued. You think too much. The most important thing for us now is to choose weapons. After speaking, he went straight to a young mentor sitting on the first floor of the weapon pavilion. Seeing Lu Qingchen and the others approaching, the young academy instructor quickly sat up and asked them. Is it Dean Han who asked you to choose weapons? Lu Qingchen and the others nodded. It seemed that Han Meng had already told the instructor of the weapon pavilion in advance. Okay, you guys come with me. The young mentor got up and walked to the second floor of the small attic. Lu Qingchen and the others quickly followed. Walking to a gray door carved with intricate patterns, the mentor put the nameplate into the depression on the door. After about 5 seconds, the door slowly opened. Inside is a quiet secret room. Go in, Dean Han gave you an hour to choose. The weapons here range from spiritual level to heavenly level. I hope you can find a weapon that suits you. After the young mentor instructed Lu Qingchen and the others, he left the second floor. Several people looked at each other and walked into the weapon room one after another. Everyone who walked into this weapon room discovered that the interior of the secret room was extremely spacious. One piece of weapons is displayed on the display stand, including knives, guns, swords, halberds, axes, hooks and forks. Several people were attracted by the colorful light emitted from various weapons. Lu Qingchen and Yu Shan circled the display stand, and finally turned their attention to these heavenly weapons. There are not a lot of heaven-level weapons. Lu Qingchen glanced roughly. There are about 200 pieces. Tiandao Shengyuan is worthy of being one of the 3 famous schools. There are more than 200 pieces of heaven-level weapons alone. As for the spirit-level and earth-level weapons, there are countless. Lu Qingchen couldn't help feeling a little moved by the strong background of the academy. Walking towards the heavenly weapons in front of him, Lu Qingchen picked up a scarlet long sword and waved it. At first, he just waved it a few times at random, but gradually, Lu Qingchen began to close his eyes. Silently comprehending the combat skills contained in the Burning Heaven Sacred Code. As time went by, the sword moves gradually became more complicated, and a fiery aura slowly rose from his body. At this moment, the few people around were stunned. They didn't expect Lu Qingchen to know swordsmanship besides his own strength. After performing the first 3 sword techniques in the Fenshin Sacred Code, Lu Qingchen stood with his sword, as if he was thinking about something. Lu Qingchen, who was a Huasha student in his previous life, especially liked watching martial arts. I also often fantasize that I can walk the rivers and lakes with a sword like the characters in the book. I never thought that my original dream would come true one day. From the moment he picked up the long sword just now, he knew how he should go in this life. I don't want this life to be vigorous, but I just hope that it will be unrestrained and boundless, and I will be happy with my love and hatred. I wish to slay countless enemies in the world with the 3-foot sword in my hand. Reluctantly putting the Crimson Sky-level sword back on the display stand, Lu Qingchen continued to pick up the next weapon. After trying dozens of heaven-level weapons in a row, none of them met Lu Qingchen's wishes. Lu Qingchen, who possesses a martial spirit of supreme strength, feels that these weapons are too light. The heavy sword is too bulky. Lu Qingchen didn't think about it. As for the spear and halberd, Lu Qingchen had thought about it, but this kind of weapon is more suitable for use on mounts. At this time, the other 4 had already chosen their weapons, and it could be seen that they were in a good mood. As Yu Shan, who had awakened a top-level martial soul, he held a long stick in his hand, and many animal patterns were carved on the stick. Except for Zheng Yu, who held a thick-backed broadsword among the other 3, the 2 girls each held a heaven-level long sword. As Murong Qingqing and Mu Ningyu are the top 10 in this national martial arts examination, the forces behind them are quite impressive. They will never lack the weapons that are handy. It's just that the 2 girls didn't intend to use their family's influence this time, but wanted to come to Tiandao Shengyuan to sharpen themselves. After several people chose their weapons, they all stood at the door of the weapon room and waited for Lu Qingchen. When they saw Lu Qingchen walking out with his hands empty, everyone was a little surprised. Murong Qingqing asked with wide bright eyes. Lu Qingchen, why don't you choose a weapon? I went around the weapon room just now, but unfortunately I didn't find the weapon I liked, so I didn't take it. Lu Qingchen spread his hands and said helplessly. Seeing his answer like this, a few people didn't say anything more. They all walked out of this weapon room and returned to the place where Han Meng was just now. At this time, Han Meng was waiting boredly, and she was also somewhat looking forward to which weapon Lu Qingchen would choose. With the character of my apprentice, it is either a knife or a gun. Maybe I will choose a folding fan. Thinking of the words Lu Qingchen said to Nangong Qianyu, Han Meng began to think wildly. Call out, call out, call out. Hearing the sound, Han Meng quickly stopped her wild thoughts and looked at the crowd flying towards her in the distance. When several people came before her, Han Meng glanced slightly. 2 long swords, a thick back knife, and a long stick. Looking at the weapons in their hands, Han Meng nodded slightly. It seems that everyone did not choose randomly, and the selected weapons are all suitable for themselves. It's just that when she looked at Lu Qingchen, she found that he had nothing in his hand. Staring fiercely at Lu Qingchen, Han Meng said word by word. Lu Qingchen, where are your weapons? Seeing Master's question, Lu Qingchen could only shake his head and said helplessly. Dean Han, there is no suitable weapon for me in the weapon pavilion. Just when Han Meng was a little puzzled and was about to continue speaking, a few mentors suddenly came. 3 female mentors, 1 male mentor. The male mentor glanced slightly at the weapons in their hands. When he saw the big knife in Zheng Yu's hand, surprise flashed in his eyes. A valiant female mentor couldn't help her eyes light up when she saw the long stick in Yushan's hand. Come with me, the female mentor said to Miyama. At this time, Han Meng also said to everyone. In the past 3 days, several instructors will teach you how to use weapons. After 3 days, I will check whether your training is qualified. Just when Yushan was a little excited and wanted to leave with the female mentor in front of him, a deep voice suddenly came from the sky. Mr. Shen, let me teach this freshman who uses a long stick within 3 days. The thick voice echoed in everyone's ears. After hearing the voice, Lu Qingchen looked in the direction where Yushan was. Yushan, who was still full of excitement just now, seemed to be taken aback when he heard the voice, and then the expression on his entire face froze in an instant. A burly figure appeared. It was Ku Dean of Tianyuan. Glancing at Yushan, who was in a daze, Dean Ku smiled and said to the heroic female tutor. Mr. Shen, I'm sorry, I will teach this student these few days. Seeing that the dean had said so, this heroic female tutor could only nod her head helplessly and leave. Seeing the departing figure of teacher Shen, Yushan opened his mouth, as if he wanted to say something. But after all, he didn't say anything. The burly Dean Ku appeared in front of Yushan and blocked his sight. Looking at Yushan, who looked loveless in front of him, Dean Ku laughed and patted him on the shoulder. Stinky boy, I'm not happy anymore. Didn't you see that Lu Qingchen has Dean Han's special guidance? After listening to Dean Ku's words, Yushan curled his lips indifferently. Seeing that the kid was indifferent to his words, Dean Ku used his trump card. I don't know what you're thinking, kid. What kind of woman won't you get after your cultivation is successful? Hearing the dean's words, Yushan's eyes suddenly lit up. Seeing that this kid finally opened his mind, Dean Ku struck while the iron was hot. Then I'll teach you how to practice now. Wait for me to perform well in the secret realm, and try to overthrow everyone. Nodding his head, Yushan hurriedly followed the Dean Ku. Before leaving, he did not forget to say hello to Lu Qingchen with his eyes. Seeing that the two still looked at each other before they parted, Han Meng asked with a smile. Do you also want to wait for your cultivation to be successful and find a woman? Lu Qingchen, who was still laughing at Yushan just now, suddenly froze. After everyone left with the mentors, only Lu Qingchen and Han Meng were left in this place. Glancing at Lu Qingchen, who was empty-handed, Han Meng said helplessly. After you go to the secret realm, do you use your bare hands to forcibly use other people's weapons? We must know that the physical body will never be as strong as a weapon before the king realm. Quote, I don't want to either, master, but those heaven-level long swords are too light, and they are not suitable for me at all. Spreading his hands, Lu Qingchen said that he didn't want to do this either. You mean that you originally wanted to choose a long sword? Hearing what he said, Han Meng's expression froze, and there was a hint of surprise in his eyes. Lu Qingchen nodded to the beautiful teacher in front of him. Do you think the long sword is too light? Han Meng thought. A few seconds later, the storage ring in his hand flashed, and an ice blue long sword appeared in Han Meng's hand. This long sword is slightly slender and elongated than ordinary long swords, and the whole seems to be cast from ice crystals. The tip of the sword is extremely sharp, and the entire body of the sword is carved with patterns in the shape of snowflakes, which emits a dazzling cold light under the sunlight. Here, take a look at this sword. Han Meng handed the long sword in her hand to her apprentice. Seeing the long sword master took out, Lu Qingchen knew it was definitely not suitable for him. Just from the appearance of this sword, it can be known that it is the kind of long sword used by ordinary women. Seeing that Han Meng handed him the long sword, Lu Qingchen still took it. After receiving the ice blue long sword, Lu Qingchen realized that he had thought too much just now. The long sword was not as light as expected. Lu Qingchen felt that this long sword weighed at least 3,000 catties. However, for Lu Qingchen, who had a strength of more than 5,000 catties in the body tempering realm, it took no effort at all to pick up this sword. After waving it casually a few times, Lu Qingchen nodded in satisfaction. This sword is quite suitable, Lu Qingchen replied. Since it is suitable, you can use it for the time being, and you take this. While talking, Han Meng handed Lu Qingchen a jade tube. A trace of soul power was injected into the jade tube, and scriptures appeared in Lu Qingchen's mind one by one. Frozen Cloud Swordsmanship, King Level Top Grade Swordsmanship, is divided into 6 styles. Closing his eyes, the mind map of the first form of the Frozen Cloud Sword Art gradually appeared in Lu Qingchen's mind. Holding the long sword tightly in his hand, Lu Qingchen started the first practice of Frozen Cloud Sword Art. Seeing her apprentice start to practice swordsmanship, Han Meng stood aside and watched quietly. Looking at Han Meng, I found that something was getting more and more wrong. It took Lu Qingchen less than a quarter of an hour to go from being a bit obscure at the beginning to being fluent in swordsmanship now. Feeling a faint aura rising in front of her eyes, Han Meng began to widen her eyes. At this moment, Lu Qingchen has devoted himself to the cultivation of swordsmanship, and is unaware of the outside environment. The ice blue long sword reflected cold rays of light under the sunlight, and endless soul power began to pour into the long sword. Gradually, Lu Qingchen's figure became blurred, and even the sword light almost disappeared. Blossoming icy clouds floated up, as if there were snowflakes falling in the sky. The temperature of the space where Lu Qingchen was located began to drop suddenly, and the ice blue long sword emitted a dazzling blue light. Just like that, Lu Qingchen's heart was clear, and he began to display this king-level high-grade Frozen Cloud Sword Art extremely smoothly. The first formula, the second formula. It has been practiced to the 6th form, and the body of this long sword has frost condensation. Lu Qingchen's whole body began to gather a cold aura. The next moment, Lu Qingchen clenched his long sword and stabbed forward. A burst of extremely sharp blue sword light spurted out, stabbing fiercely towards a forest in front of him. The moment the sword light touched the woods, the white frost condensed rapidly. In less than a second, white ice crystals formed on the woods with a radius of 10 meters. Then these ice crystals burst instantly, and one after another ice clouds drifted down. These trees turned into countless shards of ice and danced in the sky of the heavenly Dao holy courtyard. Seeing pieces of ice flakes falling down in front of her eyes, Han Meng was already stunned. What Lu Qingchen didn't know at the moment was that his performance just now was seen by Longfeng and the others above the clouds. Seeing the last sword that Lu Qingchen used, everyone looked solemn. I'm not mistaken, this is the sword. The dean standing next to Longfeng murmured. At this moment, the faces of the few people on the far side were all surprised. Hearing what Li Yancheng said, Longfeng nodded slowly. Seeing the dean nodding, Li Yancheng said doubtfully. Has this kid practiced swords before, and he has comprehended the sword so quickly? Longfeng patted Li Yancheng's shoulder, and said earnestly. Regardless of whether he has practiced swords before, you can just treat him as having practiced swords in advance. Then he turned around and looked at the one-armed old man beside him. God, what do you think? The one-armed old man flicked his beard and said with a smile. This trip to the secret realm looks promising, but I don't know how this kid's mental strength is. I have to wait 3 days for Nangong girl to test it. Quote. After hearing what Tianlao said, Nangong Qianyu smiled lightly and said. I want to teach him right now, but I'm afraid Dean Han won't want to. After the words fell, the expressions of the other elders froze. Longfeng said lightly, it doesn't count until the apprenticeship ceremony, doesn't it? Really? Then wait until these little guys successfully return from the secret realm, and we will use our own methods. At this moment, Lu Qingchen has completely displayed the 6 forms of Frozen Cloud Sword Art. Looking at the ice chips flying in the sky in front of him, he never thought that this kind of result would be caused by himself. Looking at Han Meng standing in a daze in the distance, Lu Qingchen asked loudly, "Master, do you think my swordsmanship is okay?" Those who heard the voice at this moment have already reacted. However, in order to fear that her apprentice would be proud, she still said to the handsome young man in front of her against her will, "Being able to display complete swordsmanship for the first time is already very good, but there is still a distance from being a master." "Oh, really?" Lu Qingchen scratched his head. He thought he was already a genius. "I didn't expect that my master had better talent than him back then." Han Meng raised her head and said proudly, "Of course, you don't even look at who your master is." Han Meng blushed a little when she said this. She felt ashamed to deceive her apprentice. But in order not to make Lu Qingchen proud, she still fought hard. "It's a pity that this sword is not very suitable for you, and it's a pity that there are too few high-level weapons in the academy." Han Meng sighed regretfully. If there was a weapon suitable for her apprentice, she would grab it. Lu Qingchen didn't care, blinked at Han Meng, and asked, "Master, I don't know the name and grade of this sword yet, can you tell me?" Seeing her precious apprentice, she was a little curious, and Han Meng didn't hide anything. "This sword is called the Frozen Cloud Sword, and the set of swordsmanship I gave you just now is just a match. As for the level of this sword, it is only a king-level high-grade weapon. But for the academy, king-level weapons are extremely precious." Quote. Hearing these words, Lu Qingchen was a little surprised. With his Master Emperor Realm cultivation base, he only had one king-level weapon. Although Han Meng just said that there are too few high-level weapons in the academy, Lu Qingchen did not expect that the scarcity would reach this level. So he couldn't help but ask, "Master, doesn't the academy even have a single emperor-level weapon?" "There are a few emperor-level magic weapons, but they are all in the hands of the seniors of the academy and several other deans. The most important thing is that those few imperial weapons are not suitable for me, and the only weapon I like is snatched by others." Quote. Speaking of this, Han Meng sighed with some regret. "Master, who took away the weapon you fancy?" Lu Qingchen was very angry about what happened to Han Meng. Blinking her big icy blue eyes, Han Meng asked her apprentice with a half-smile, "What if I say, it's Nangong Qianyu? Do you want to grab it back for me?" Hearing Han Meng's answer, Lu Qingchen's aggrieved expression froze instantly. After a long while, Lu Qingchen smiled coyly, and could only bite the bullet and say, "Master, I want to grab it for you too, but I can't beat Dean Nangong." Seeing the apprentice answering like this, Han Meng said something vaguely. "Didn't you say that Nangong Qianyu and I have our own characteristics, but you should talk about it carefully, what characteristics do we have?" Hearing what his master said, Lu Qingchen was completely dumbfounded. "If you can't say it today, or if I'm not satisfied with what you said, don't blame the teacher, you are cruel." Staring at the handsome young man in front of her with big ice blue eyes, Han Meng said viciously to Lu Qingchen. Above the clouds, Li Yancheng, Lu Chengfeng and others looked at Nangong Qianyu with strange eyes. Nangong Qianyu's expression was a little unnatural at the moment. She didn't expect Han Meng to ask Lu Qingchen these questions. For a moment, the atmosphere was a little awkward. "Ahem, let me see how the other kids are doing in training, are you going?" Hearing Tian Lao's words, several other seniors of the academy responded one after another, and left here together with Tian Lao. Only 3 deans and 1 dean remain here. Long Feng and the other 3 were listening to the conversation between Lu Qingchen and Han Meng with their ears pricked up. "Tell me, who is better looking, Nangong Qianyu or I?" "Of course it's Master, you look good." "Then if I fight with her, who will you help?" "I'm only at the spiritual martial realm, Master, I haven't lived enough yet." Lu Qingchen said helplessly. At this time, Nangong Qianyu, who was standing above the clouds, turned blue and white, wishing to go down to fight with Han Meng immediately. Fortunately, Lu Qingchen's answer was not too much, which calmed down Nangong Qianyu's mood a little. He looked at Long Feng and the others who were eavesdropping with their ears pricked up. Nangong Qianyu snorted coldly, turning into a light and shadow and gradually disappearing. Seeing Nangong Qianyu leave, Long Feng's voice sounded leisurely. "Now there's a good show to watch." Lu Chengfeng and Li Yancheng on the side also nodded seriously. They are also looking forward to what Nangang Qianyu will do 3 days later. Thinking of what Lu Qingchen said, the three couldn't help but look at each other. They couldn't help laughing gloatingly. Let's forget about this time. If you dare to do this again next time, I will. After Lu Qingchen racked his brains to answer, Han Meng nodded in satisfaction and didn't bother with this matter anymore. Thinking that Lu Qingchen had never practiced swords before, Han Meng took out a basic sword formula and threw it to Lu Qingchen. For the past 2 days, you should practice this basic sword art. Practice it for me at least 10,000 times a day. Do you understand? Lu Qingchen took this basic sword formula and opened it. All of them are the most basic movements such as chopping, stabbing, and picking. Knowing the importance of a solid foundation, Lu Qingchen began to practice according to this basic sword formula. Han Meng took out a small bench from the storage ring, sat aside and silently watched Lu Qingchen practice. As night fell, Lu Qingchen was still practicing the most boring basic sword art over and over again. Looking at the slender, handsome young man in front of him, the corners of Han Meng's delicate mouth slightly raised, showing a warm smile like the sun. Xiaochen, you can go a little faster when you pick the tip of the sword upwards. Yes, that's it. When the blade stabs out, there must be an indomitable momentum. Han Meng sat on the small bench and stared at her apprentices, pointing out Lu Qingchen's shortcomings one by one. The night gradually disappeared, and the first ray of sunlight in the morning shone on Lu Qingchen's delicate face. At this moment, Lu Qingchen's whole body was already wet with sweat, and big beads of sweat dripped down. 10,000 rehearsals of the basic sword art made Lu Qingchen, who is extremely physically fit, feel a little tired. As the sword shadow fell for the last time, the 10,000 times of basic swordsmanship practice was finally completed. Lu Qingchen leaned on his sword and almost collapsed to the ground. He didn't expect that just the simplest movement of swinging a sword would exhaust him. With a flash of light, Han Meng took out a table and a small bench from the storage ring, and signaled Lu Qingchen to come and rest. With heavy steps, he walked to the table with difficulty and sat down. Lu Qingchen let out a foul breath. Looking at the handsome young man with a tired expression and beads of sweat on his forehead, Han Meng's eyes flashed with distress. Taking out an ice blue handkerchief embroidered with patterns, Han Meng handed it to the handsome young man in front of him. He motioned for him to wipe the sweat off his forehead. Lu Qingchen took the handkerchief and put it on the tip of his nose to smell it lightly. There was a faint fragrance, which made his nose itch uncontrollably. Seeing Lu Qingchen like this, Han Meng glared at him. So Lu Qingchen hurriedly wiped it on his forehead a few times, and then put it into the storage ring. Give it back to me. Han Meng stretched out her jade hand. Ah ha ha ha. Lu Qingchen didn't care, but pretended to be stupid and laughed. At this time, a beautiful figure rushed towards the two from a distance, holding many things in his hands. Have you finished your junior training? It's time for breakfast. A crisp voice sounded. The person who came was Lu Yan, who hadn't seen him for a long time. Seeing that her other apprentice had also come, Han Meng didn't ask Lu Qingchen for the handkerchief again. Hey, why is senior sister free to come today? Lu Qingchen was a little surprised. After all, Lu Yan hadn't appeared since he entered school. Xiaoyan has been practicing for a while, so you haven't seen her since you entered school. As if guessing what Lu Qingchen was thinking, Han Meng explained. Yes, I have been practicing recently, and I want to hit the top 10 in Wagwo Tianjiao list. After carefully looking at the apprentice in front of him, Han Meng said in surprise. You have already turned into a spirit. Hearing Han Meng's surprised tone, Lu Yan raised her head proudly. What mortal body and spirit, is it also a breakthrough realm? Lu Qingchen scratched his head. He knew about Wagwo Tianjiao list, but he had never heard of the realm of mortal body and spirit. It was only then that Han Meng remembered that Lu Qingchen hadn't attended a single class since entering school, and it was normal not to know these things. So patiently explained. The transformation of a mortal body into a spirit is a sign of Zunwu's advancement to the king's realm, and it is also a watershed for the younger generation of Tianjiao. As the name suggests, mortal body transformation into spirit is to transform one's physique from a mortal body into a spiritual body. This process needs to be very difficult. It needs to be tempered by the catastrophe and no one else can interfere. If you don't hold on, your life will be in danger, or it will be wiped out in ashes. Quote. Hearing what Han Meng said, Lu Qingchen couldn't help feeling a little worried. After all, Lu Qingshe had just advanced to martial realm. Although this step is difficult, it shouldn't be a big problem for the real Tianzhao as long as they are prepared. Hearing Master's words, Lu Qingchen felt a little relieved. Lu Qingshe has reached martial exalted realm at this age, presumably her talent must be extremely good, so there is no need to worry about it. Let's have breakfast first. After breakfast, it's time for Xiaoyan to practice with you, Han Meng said to Lu Qingchen. So Lu Qingchen started to gobble it up. He was already starving after practicing the sword technique 10,000 times. Most of the breakfast brought by Lu Yan consisted of aura-filled ingredients. In addition, there are some treasures of heaven, material and earth that strengthen the foundation and cultivate the yuan. While drinking the water from Tianan pool brought out by the master, he ate food with spiritual energy at the same time. After eating breakfast, Lu Qingchen only felt that the pores all over his body were dilated, and his body seemed to be full of strength. So she got up and said to Lu Yan impatiently, "Senior sister, let's fight." Lu Yan put down her chopsticks, smiled and said to Lu Qingchen, "Don't blame me for being too aggressive for a while, junior brother." Half a quarter of an hour later, Lu Qingchen returned to his small bench with a bruised nose and a swollen face. Looking at the depressed boy in front of him, Han Meng let out a "poochie" laugh. "It's okay. With your current cultivation base, it's pretty good to be able to last half an hour in Xiaoyan's hands. After all, she is at the martial exalted realm now, and she is 3 years older than you." 3 years older. Hearing what Han Meng said, Lu Qingchen became even more depressed. Lu Qingshe was 2 years older than him and had just reached the martial realm, and his senior sister was 3 years older than him and already turned into a mortal body and spirit. "I don't know if I can reach martial realm in 2 years. Master, how old are you?" Lu Qingchen suddenly said such a sentence. He was a little curious about Han Meng's age. Ever since he met Han Meng, he always felt that Han Meng was not very old. But Lu Qingchen knew that she was already in the Emperor realm, so he couldn't help asking. Seeing her apprentice asking this question, Han Meng glared at him, and said slowly, "Your master, I am already old, and I should be about 300 years old this year." "More than 300 years old, isn't this an old monster?" After hearing Han Meng's words, Lu Qingchen's body trembled. Seeing Lu Qingchen's reaction like this, Lu Yan couldn't help laughing. "Hee, master, she lied to you, she is only 4 or 5 years older than you." Boom. As if a catastrophe struck down, Lu Qingchen's mind was in chaos. "Master is only 4 or 5 years older than me, so doesn't that mean that master is only about 22 years old? 22-year-old Wang Zhejiang." Thinking of this, the corners of Lu Qingchen's mouth twitched, and his heart was gloomy. Lu Qingchen, who thought he was a genius, couldn't help complaining at this moment. Seeing that Lu Qingchen's eyes were dull, Han Meng glared at Lu Yan, and comforted her. "Don't think too much, Xiaochen, I'm just in a special situation. I believe that your cultivation level will definitely be stronger when you are a teacher at this age." Quote. Without saying anything else, Lu Qingchen silently picked up the frozen cloud sword and continued to practice the basic sword skills. Cold Dream. Lu Yan. Time passed bit by bit. Lu Qingchen was like a tireless humanoid machine, practicing this extremely boring sword technique. Finally, after practicing countless times, a sense of enlightenment rose from Lu Qingchen's heart. With this enlightenment, Lu Qingchen continued to practice the basic swordsmanship, and an aura continued to rise from him. Following the simplest chopping, picking, and stabbing, Lu Qingchen felt that the power far exceeded the frozen cloud sword technique he used a few days ago. Moreover, it is round and free to use, and can control this kind of sword power very well. However, it was different from the momentum condensed when using the frozen cloud sword art before. The sword momentum on Lu Qingchen's body at this time was extremely thick. With the stabbing and slashing of a sword, the incomparable momentum gradually became domineering. When Lu Qingchen performed the last move, an extremely domineering aura slashed down with the blade. In an instant, the floor with a radius of tens of meters turned into gravel, and Lu Yan was so frightened that she quickly picked up a small bench and ran aside. Putting his sword back and standing still, Lu Qingchen felt that the harvest of these 3 days was too worthwhile. Han Meng in the distance was looking at him with a smile on her face, and it could be seen that she was very satisfied with Lu Qingqian's performance these days. Master, I feel something suddenly added to my mind. Is this the sword power? After these 3 days of practicing the basic sword skills, Lu Qingqian was able to control this sword force completely. Yes, judging from the sword power you are displaying now, it should have reached the state of perfection. Looking at the same generation of Tianzhao in Huaguo, almost no one can compare with you. Quote. Hearing Master praise him once in a while, Lu Qingqian couldn't help being in a good mood, and continued to ask. Master, you said that my sword power has reached the perfect state, but I don't know what the next state is. Sword power is divided into 4 major realms, which are Shaochang, Dachang, perfection and great perfection. As for the sword intent after Zouchen, that's not what you, who are in the spiritual martial realm, have come into contact with. Quote. Since her apprentice had broken through from a small sword posture to a perfect sword posture in 3 days, Han Meng was in a very good mood at the moment. However, it only took you 3 days to improve your sword power from a small one to a perfect sword power, which is enough to prove that you have an unparalleled talent in the sword. I believe that with the improvement of the realm, you will reach the realm of sword intent sooner or later. Quote. Han Meng's words can be said to be very high on Lu Qingqian. Compared with sword power, it is too difficult to have your own sword intent. At least Han Meng has never seen warriors below the Emperor realm have their own sword intent. Even she only comprehended the sword intent from the great perfection sword power when she was promoted to the Emperor. This also allowed Han Meng, who had just advanced to the Emperor realm, to have a very strong strength, and thus successfully became the vice president of the Heavenly Tao Holy Academy. If he had an imperial soldier, maybe even Long Feng wouldn't dare to say that he was stronger than Han Meng in terms of strength. According to the ancient books, only after comprehending the meaning of the sword can it be said that one has really taken a big step in the way of the sword. But what Han Meng didn't know was that after entering the secret realm, Lu Qingqian's monstrosity began to be revealed. Whoosh! At this moment, several figures descended from the sky one after another. They were the other 3 freshmen and their corresponding tutors. With the arrival of Dean Ku and Yu Shan, the 3-day training time has come. The 3 tutors walked towards Han Meng one by one and reported the situation to the vice president in front of them. Murong Qingqing passed the training result. Mu Ningyu passed the training result. Zheng Yu passed the training result. The 3 instructors all said with a smile on their faces that they were very satisfied with the students they taught. Looking at Dean Ku, he raised his head proudly and said loudly, the result of Yushan training is excellent. Lu Qingqian glanced at Yushan who was grinning. It seemed that Dean Ku was very satisfied with his good brother. Thinking that Yushan might also worship a vice president as his teacher, Lu Qingqian was also happy for him. Since everyone has passed the 3-day training, leave it to me. A clear and pleasant voice came. Nangong Qianyu walked out of the void, and said to Han Meng with a smile. The 2 women looked at each other, as if there were fierce sparks colliding in the void. After glancing at Lu Qingqian meaningfully, Han Meng and Lu Yan left directly. Seeing that Han Meng had left, the other 3 mentors and Dean Ku also left one after another. Seeing that everyone had left, Nangong Qianyu chuckled and said to the 5 students in front of her. You guys rest for an hour, and the training will officially start after an hour. After finishing speaking, he stood aside and began to close his eyes and meditate. The 5 people on the field looked at me and I looked at you, and finally sat cross-legged and waited silently. Lu Qingqian sat cross-legged silently, and began to recall the sword posture he had comprehended before. The sword power just now seems to have been slowly born after I swung the sword countless times, as if it has merged into the world. Does this mean that the power of the sword is a kind of general power between heaven and earth? Since the way of the sword has power, what about the martial soul? Thinking of this, Lu Qingqian couldn't help but began to feel the martial soul carefully. Since the awakening of the 3 major martial spirits, apart from pouring his soul power into his martial soul through practicing every day, Lu Qingqian just felt free to see if he had any new abilities. As for the potential, Lu Qingqian didn't even think about it before he understood the sword's potential. At this moment, Lu Qingqian's eyes were closed tightly, and as his consciousness condensed, he had already arrived in the martial soul space. Looking at the golden flames lingering on the three-legged golden crow's wings covering the sky, and the pair of eyes like a big sun. Lu Qingchen was still the same as when he first awakened his martial soul, and his heart couldn't help trembling slightly. Although this is his martial spirit, every time he sees it, it will always bring him a sense of pressure. Maybe this is a kind of power of Wuhan. Seeing this divine bird standing proudly between the sky and the earth, Lu Qingchen began to feel silently. This posture seems to be somewhat similar to the sword posture I comprehend, but it is completely different. It has the invincible momentum of suppressing everything and burning everything, as if everything will be burned as long as it is in front of it. With the gradual deepening of his understanding, Lu Qingchen seemed to understand what kind of power the three-legged golden crow martial soul contained. The hour has come, let's start now. Just after Lu Qingchen realized a trace of the power of the martial soul, Nangong Qianyu's voice sounded. Everyone opened their eyes one after another, then stood up straight. Since they didn't know the temper of the Nangong Dean, several people respected him very much. Looking at the straight bodies of the 5 people standing in front of her, Nangong Qianyu chuckled lightly. I hope you can keep it like this in the future. Without saying anything more, the Dean of the Holy Academy went straight to the topic. The next thing you need to train is to persist for 3 days under my mental pressure and momentum. No matter what method you use, you must persevere for these 3 days. Otherwise, this trip to the secret realm will have to be replaced. Quote, hearing Nangong Qianyu's words, everyone's expressions were a little dignified, and they couldn't help feeling a little worried. Then now, mental strength training officially begins. As Nangong Qianyu's voice fell, a vast spiritual force swept towards the 5 people like a sea tide. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.